Do you record also or not?
I don't know if I can. I'll have to try that another time. It's recording to YouTube though.
Oh, it is? Okay.
We'll just wait a little while. Dude, look what's in.
What is that?
It was in the drink.
Ooh.
It's because it's hazy.
Okay.
Who's all on? We'll wait a little while. Wait for some people to find us. If we don't get banned. Some of the stuff in this title
may keep us from even.
Well, I mean, somebody will
able to go
see us,
live.
but YouTube is weird about like transgender in the title.
Who will see us? Maybe it's already eliminated.
We're just gonna wait a few minutes. You got a drink? You want me to grab you one real quick?
I've got water right down here.
We got 4 viewers. How long should we wait?
Where do you see that?
Right there. Current viewers.
What are the numbers down there that are bigger?
Those right there. It's just kind of like the stats.
Okay, what does it say right there? Concurrent?
Yep, and 1 like. Thank you for the like. Hello, BB.
So this was very impromptu, as has been normal for us with our other 2 live chats.
We're just going to wait a little bit longer. I'm going to get Chris a drink. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah. Am I okay as far as my distance from the mic for you to hear me? I am making sure there's distance. It's weird because I see things much delayed here.
What's that?
I said it's weird because I see things much delayed. You had already walked down the stairs, yet you were still on the screen.
Yeah, there's a delay.
So it was strange.
I thought I would show Fievel. He's doing well.
It's one happy dog.
People are starting to show up. We got 30 viewers. Montana Bros. Daniel M. There you go, buddy. What are you drinking, Chris?
I'll never say.
I think you can drink on YouTube, right? Or can you not?
I have no idea. That's why I'll never say. I'm drinking a special elixir.
Good morning, cat. Love you guys. Cool. What a pretty baby. He's cool. He is our buddy. He knows like 30 tricks now. It's crazy.
He's a great doggy. Come up.
Come on, bud.
Come up. Just don't hit your head.
We got 45 viewers. How long should we wait?
I don't know.
A few more minutes.
Oops. Okay, he's tangled up in the earphone cord, Dylan. You'll want to remove the earphone cord. There we go. All right.
So you all have seen the title, I imagine. And it's a discussion, I guess. How's the meeting going? How's the meetings going? Oh, he did a meeting tonight and it got bombed.
Yeah, I was just watching a presentation tonight.
Somebody was drawing a
big red penis halfway through the Zoom presentation. Someone hacked into the program and bombed it with a big red penis and then some other stuff. So they just stopped it, so it never finished. It was sad for the person that was giving the presentation and everybody else, because there were like 280 something people attending the program. Oh, look, he put his head into my chest.
Yeah, he's adorable. I guess we should go ahead and start.
We can start, yeah. We've got
Cool,
134 participants right now.
So the title, of course, is Transgender People in Sports, Military Ban, Underage Use of Hormone Therapy.
So this is stuff that we talk about all the time. So we kind of know each other's thoughts, and we agree on most items.
Most things.
There's one that we kind of diverge a little bit.
Should we go right into that one, or save that for the later?
Save that for the end one.
Oh, there's clickbait right there. That's retention right there. So overall, would we be friends with somebody that was transgender? Of course.
Really?
Of course.
Yes, we have friends that are transgender, and I hate to say more acquaintance because we don't get to hang out a lot. It's not like we hang a lot and get to know them really well. You've got, what do you got? I've got like this wild ass eyebrow hair. That's what's going on. Is that what you were getting at me?
Yep.
Yeah.
There was like a fuzzy or something.
Okay. I've also got some fuzzies too. But yeah, we have acquaintances and friends that are transgender, and it's like more power to them.
I think you have to be pretty brave to come out though, and actually like be yourself. I mean, I think it's a lot more difficult to be trans than to be gay.
I would say so. I would think so. I mean, we just like have to finally give in and make the decision to be who we are. We don't have to do any like physical manipulations or even make the decision whether to or not. So I would think it would be much more difficult. We can't really speak from personal experience since neither of us are trans, or nor are we likely ever to be. Decide. I can't see that being a path for me. It's just never been there. It's not who I am.
So as far as I know, there's like a misconception with the whole military ban with trans. I think they're allowed now. I don't think it was like somebody that was trans that was. I don't think anybody that was banned that was trans was. How do I say this? I'm confusing my own self.
You're confusing me now too.
Okay, well,
was it because they were trans? Period. Was that the aspect that they were not allowed to serve just for the fact that they were trans? And we don't really know what everyone's decisions were in that, but I think there was more, at least on some people's parts, medical issues, and we can't see the conversation that people are doing. That's not showing up on the screen that I can read. Is there a way to do that, or do we want to do that?
You do that real quick.
Okay. Trying to fix things here. My eyeballs do not work for things that are that small.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
A view is a view. Thumbs up. Love Daddy too.
We owe gay rights to trans folks. I agree.
Yeah.
Trans people are brave. I think, though, the thing is, I think a lot of trans people used to be banned from the military because they were currently on medication and currently maybe undergoing like healing time from an operation.
That's kind of where we both shake out. Is we realize for basically any medical treatment that people aren't allowed to be in active military, from my understanding. So since if you were trans and going through surgical processes and having to take hormones and what have you, all that medical stuff that's going on, if other medical treatments are, prevent people from being in active military, it just kind of makes sense from the medical point of view that if you're in the active transition, it might be a difficult thing and becomes more of a medical issue than anything else. If you're trans and you have made the transition, I would say, or you're deciding to and haven't started it, you're not in a medical procedure at the time, to me, that, go ahead, there should be no reason not to serve if there's not something medically related to it.
I think that what people have to remember about the trans community and them being banned from the military, it's basically just people that are trans that are currently on medication.
That are banned.
Yeah, or I don't know if they're banned anymore because of new
no,
legislation.
they're not now. Yeah,
but it was people that were currently on medication, and the military also bans people who are depressed and on medication. They have so many reasons that you can get banned. You can get banned from the military for being too tall, for being
or prevented from being in the military.
Yeah,
right?
You just won't get discriminated.
Mm-hmm.
You can be too short for the military. You can be overweight. You can have flat feet. You can have a skin condition and you get banned from the military or be prevented from the military.
Eyesight.
Poor eyesight. Deaf. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of reasons that you can get discriminated and not be able to go into the military.
Yeah, and at that point, it's more of a medical decision, I'm thinking.
But I feel like if you're not currently on a medication and you don't have like a surgery that you're recovering from, I feel like of course you should be able to serve in the military.
Yeah, so we're kind of there. We can look and see if anyone has made any statements. Omar R. Haven't we made progress with regards to modern day medicine that say trans, HIV positive people, or anyone else taking medicine should be able to serve?
No, you can't even serve in the military in general if you have HIV, unless I think you contract it in the military.
I don't know. I haven't looked.
I've
into
looked that up. You cannot serve in the military if you have HIV.
Sarah Wagner says, "Y'all are great. I tell all my friends to watch y'all." Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. We're just getting warmed up.
Hidden City, Mabuhay. Greetings from Manila, Philippines. Love you both. Thank you so much.
Jobs
No,
in the
it's
military.
Hidden Cry. Not
What is
Hidden
that?
City. See, I can't see.
Jobs in the military aren't just soldiers. Plenty of desk jobs for short people. I agree. I feel like there's a lot of jobs in the military, and yeah, there's a lot of people that can fit them. The right person for the job should get the job.
K-Dog, we will give you a shout out.
Thank you.
And I haven't looked into the military.
It was
so,
unbanished. Sorry.
So I've never thought that I would be a proper military person. I am too jumpy. It's like no one would ever want me to have a handgun or a gun, period, and be in a stressful situation just walking down the hall, period, because I jump. Something moves, I jump. I would be a hazard to absolutely everyone, including myself. So I've never looked into the military. They would have to train me a lot to not react to things. I think they'd have to give me, like a lobotomy or something. I don't know. It's like I'm just too jumpy. Shirley Ward, my teen identifies as pan. However, if she were to come out as trans, I would only ask her to not take anything until her body has reached maturity, just for medical reasons.
See,
that's
we
another
agree
part
with
of
that.
That's
That's our difference. I agree that you should not take hormones if you're not 18 or older, and that's just my personal opinion. I feel like you should be an adult to make that decision. It's the same reason you would not want a 14-year-old boy to take testosterone to become a bodybuilder.
Yeah. And
that's just my opinion.
And so I'm mixed on it, because I see that there are benefits if someone is mature enough and they can make that definite decision. And I think there are some younger people that can. I think Jazz has always been set in her decision. There are others that, as just hormones change with the body, maybe things flip-flop for them and go back and forth. I don't know, because I haven't had to go through it.
Both things happen.
So
there are trans that regret it and trans that are happy and embrace it the rest of their life.
So here's what I think. I think it should be kind of open. It should be up to the individual. There should be a good bit of testing and consideration. Parents should be on board. At that age, parents have to help kids make decisions. So I think a parental decision and advice should be considered, but I don't think it should be one way or the other, because no matter what happens in that case, there are going to be some people that make the right decision, and it's a great decision for them. And no matter what we do and which way we go with it, there's going to be some people that ultimately think they've made the wrong decision. It's just the way things work.
Somebody said, would you stop a 7-year-old from taking insulin? My niece is diabetic. If she doesn't have insulin, she literally dies.
Yep.
I think there is a little bit of a difference between insulin and a hormone, and I think that's kind of the point. Hormones, there can be negative consequences to taking them. When I was 14 years old, this is very personal, I was gay, and I didn't want to look flamboyant at all. And I didn't want people to know I was gay, so I was considering...
You wanted to hide.
I was wanting to hide. And then women would come up to me and be like, your eyes are so pretty. And I'd be like, don't tell me that. And I started going to the gym a lot, and I wanted to take testosterone. And I was 14, and it was because of my body image, and I wanted to be more muscular. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying at 14,
you felt.
I would have... If I would have been given an option, I would have done it.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar, but in the opposite spectrum.
Yeah, because now that's not allowed, and yet we were talking earlier that, if you make that decision and want to transition at 14, you can. So there's kind of like, it's not a level playing field there necessarily either by age as to who can or cannot get hormone therapy. Let's see here. Time is an illusion. Almost 4 years on testosterone. Never will regret it. That's good. And Jenny Ripper, Angel, by you comparing transgenderism. Wait. Transgenderism with diabetes, you're saying that being trans is same as being sick, which of course is not the case. And here's the thing too.
Let's make it clear that trans people are awesome.
Yeah.
Let's just make that clear.
And here's the thing that we forgot to say too, is like this being a live conversation in period, and just us not knowing everything. We're probably going to say something that's going to tick someone off and be incorrect, and that we might even regret.
And this is a conversation
Yeah.
that we've been kind of scared to do in general, just because there's a lot of risk and people want to cancel based off a misspeak. And
Yeah.
it's easy to misspeak. You know, this is one conversation. We've had so many conversations about this whole topic, and ultimately we like you if you're a good person. We don't care if you're trans. We think that if you are trans and you're a good person, you are brave, and that's amazing.
The most important part is not your genitalia, but your heart. Let's see, Omar R. If I've known I've been gay since elementary school, who am I to say someone doesn't know that they are trans man or woman?
I think that's a good point. I think there's probably trans people that do know that they're trans at 5 years old.
Yeah.
But I feel like how they want to handle being trans is going to be different in general. And taking hormones, that is kind of risky. Hormones have a risk. I mean, even like taking testosterone as a guy, I know more about that because I've looked into it more. I have.
Yeah.
I've never taken any steroids or testosterone, but I mean, your chances of cancer can go up, and there's different risks that come with that. So I imagine it's the same with estrogen.
Yeah, I mean, the hormones they're pretty crazy things. I mean, they handle a lot of and control a lot of systems in the body. It's a big decision to make, and there are going to be some people that handle them fine and some people that's not going to probably work as well with. But again, we're talking biology, and that's always the case in biology.
And what about surgery? What about like surgery before the age of 18? That gets me because I'm against circumcision. I think that you should have the right to have the choice at 18 though. I don't think your parents should have the right to circumcise you as a baby. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, we get
It's
into
mutilation,
this conversation
so,
too. Yeah.
Of course, a 13-year-old getting a surgery like a bottom surgery, I'm not really for it because the surgeries are not perfect yet. I mean, you're talking about messing with nerve endings. Nerve endings in general, like if you chop off part of your finger, your nerve endings are never
damaged.
Quite right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a little iffy. If their surgeries were perfect, I would say go for it. But of course, this is not my choice. It's not my decision. But I would hope that the parents would wait for the child to be 18. That's just my personal opinion.
Yep. You're pretty solid on your thoughts on it.
I mean,
And
at 18.
I think it's more of an on individual basis again. So Omar R. I don't know if I read this. I did read that. And Sarah Anderson said, but there's negative consequences to taking all kinds of medications that's needed.
Definitely.
And
Definitely. I think
case.
medications are, they could be risky. I think that's another conversation.
The definite total conversation, the whole statement that food is medicine, I believe that. And I think a lot of our illnesses and a lot of our just problems as in society goes totally to the root of our food, and I do not think our food supply is clean. I think our food supply is trash. I've traveled all over the world, a good bit of it, a few countries, and I feel like I've had fresher food in other countries because they tend to eat more fresh food rather than processed foods, and I've just always fared well when traveling.
I've heard of these puberty blockers. And they're especially good for male to female since the effects on vocal cords are permanent. Yeah.
And, that may be something that for that instance, just male to female, that would be an important thing to consider if you're young and don't want your body to start developing that other direction, because you then can't reverse that,
it's
as
just,
she says.
For me, you got to remember is like, I don't like medications in general.
Yeah. Neither of us want any injections.
Except for
or
I have
anything.
taken psychedelics. Like if I'm going to take anything, it's going to be a psychedelic.
Mind altering.
It's going to be mind altering. And I mean, people obviously make the choice not to do those, but that's just my personal choice.
Yeah.
At 18, I think I should be able to make that choice. But I was raised not getting immunizations, not putting things in my body in general. And those are immunizations.
Yeah.
So you're talking like hormones or even like blockers. What is that stuff? Is it really good for your liver and your kidneys? I mean, those are all fair questions.
Deeper medical discussion that I'm qualified for.
Jazz is an awesome story.
Yeah.
She took puberty blockers as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, like in her case, she seems to be very happy with the transition.
Yeah, and it seemed like Jazz was just like an old soul to begin with. I mean, it's not just Jazz knew what was going on inside.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Every individual is different and is a different like mental maturity.
Yeah. So both of us, like I at 6 years old, I knew I was gay, even though I didn't have a word for it. I don't think I knew the word gay. I just knew when I thought about others, it was like guys. It's like I daydreamed about getting married to a guy. I didn't daydream about being married to a girl or having sex, but I didn't have a word for it. But I have met people that don't really get it, that they're gay until later in life. And that's just an impossibility for me. I knew, but so everyone is different.
What do we think of birth control at a young age? I guess what's in birth control? I mean, it's the same question. When you're putting anything in your body, I do have to ask, like, what's in it? Is it damaging somebody? But at the same time, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a great question. And that's a good, like, comparison to hormone blockers.
Yeah.
Like, if you let somebody take birth control at 16, should you let them take hormone blockers?
And I haven't had to worry about that because I was not engaging in any activity that was going to make me a parent in my younger years. So again, but my gut feeling is if there's a young woman, especially that is wanting to go on birth control because she knows she's going to be sexually active, to me, that's a yes at that point, because there's going to be consequences that young woman is going to deal with either which way, and she's getting the chance to make one of them. One of them can be more temporary. If you end up not going on birth control and you end up becoming pregnant and having a child, and that's not the direction you're wanting to go in life, that's a pretty permanent situation there.
There is a lot of scientific studies saying that like a man's prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until the age of 25.
Yeah.
And I think a woman, her or a girl's prefrontal cortex is fully developed around 20. So I mean that is something to be considered.
So women develop faster than men.
And I don't think it's like so much like
it's in general.
I don't think it means that like it affects your gender identity or your gender preference of like what you're sexually attracted to. I don't think it affects that so much. It affects your decision making in general.
Capabilities.
So, yeah, it affects your decision making. So it might affect like how you make choices to whatever situation you're in.
Well, there you go. I mean, at in puberty, everyone's getting flushed with hormones, and they just drive you batshit crazy. It's like, so your decision capabilities are more difficult when you've just been hit with this whole new bunch of chemicals that you don't know what to do with.
This is a good.
My kid from Lanada Peppers. My kiddo is trans, and they have such a great doctor in Montana who educates and supports. They're waiting because the doc answers questions. And access to that kind of health care is so important.
Sounds very important to me.
And that's encouraged to know that here in Montana that someone's getting really good medical coverage and care and consultation. I think that would very likely be very possible in Bozeman. I'm sure there's smaller communities in Montana that would be near impossible to get.
Blair White is trash. Is she? I have not seen all of her videos. I have seen some, and they were pretty awesome. But yeah, I haven't seen all her videos, so I don't know.
Yeah, that was Slayer 1990Z, and I'm supposed to. We've watched Blair White, but I can't even like pull up the deal right now.
What is this? Yeah, Alexandro, because bacteria can get trapped under the foreskin. Can't you just pull it back and clean it? Like, I mean, you got to remember your butthole is dirty and it's right near your foreskin, really. So, like, if you don't clean your butt, you're gonna have bacteria and stuff too. You clean your butt. That's hairy, which is weird already, because I mean, hair is not good by your pooper. And
that's what I've always wondered about.
And then it's like, well, but the foreskin's dirty. It's like, dude, it's by your butthole. It's like, it's called cleaning it.
So here's what I've always
We're warmed up finally.
I thought about like, okay, with evolution and humans using hair, why was the butthole not a place that we lost hair? Since there's, I mean, that's where it hangs. I don't understand that.
But it's a nerve ending thing.
Evolution didn't work there.
The way I've heard it described is like it's like the back of your hand compared to the front of your hand, the sensation of your foreskin. So the front of your hand is more, it's like more sensitive. Once you cut the foreskin off, it feels more like the back of your hand. That's the way I heard it described. But essentially, you're cutting a bunch of nerve endings when you cut the foreskin.
Yeah.
And bottom line, it should be your choice.
It's your body. You were born with it, and we're both pretty set on that. That it should be something that every individual should have a chance to make the decision on once their prefrontal cortex is
or
developed.
Whatever age we decide is old enough, and that's controversial. Anyways, like it's 18. Technically,
why can you go and get shot at 18, but you can't legally drink until 21?
I mean, society is kind of messed up. It
doesn't make sense. Jeffrey Miller, laugh out loud. Russ is just warming up.
White hair like a dad. Yeah, it's white all over. Blair has said some very harming and rude things about other trans people. She makes fun of a lot of trans people.
And I don't get that. So I don't know Blair White, so I haven't seen that, so I can't really comment on it. But I can't imagine why, if someone is trans, why they would put, especially anyone else, trans down, unless they have some issue inside themselves. I mean, we talk a lot of times too that people that are so anti-gay, it's because of inner turmoil. That it's just like they have emotions inside they don't know how to handle and deal with.
Yeah, I've heard of people. It says my son unfortunately had to get circumcised for medical reasons. However, that does happen sometimes, but it's not everybody.
Yeah, I think that would be like an unusual, one of the outlier conditions.
There's also people who get circumcised and have issues with the scar tissue.
Or just like the doctor slips. I don't know if the doctor was drinking. It's like, they were supposed to be a boy, but we're going to make them a girl now because I cut too much off.
That reminds me.
That happened not uncommonly. Not uncommonly. I've read books on it. And individuals that, developed not knowing that biologically they were born a male. And
that happens a lot with intersex, too. People who are close to two genders. The doctor decides for them, which is stupid. And that's crazy. That's another thing. Let them decide at 18 or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountain. Like trans people in sports has made me conflicted. I agree.
That's another part of the
discussion that we're going to get into. Essentially, when you are a male, you develop differently. Your hips are different. The structure of your hips are different. Your bone density from testosterone is more dense. You're different.
Yeah, hormones do those things.
Essentially, that is why in sports they started separating the men and the women in general. So it made it fair for women to be able to compete at a different level.
Yeah, because their bodies develop differently, and you have balance different. It's like, there are physical differences in being men and women.
Of course, there's always that badass girl.
Always outliers.
There's always that outlier badass girl that is just so tough. But in general, you have women's basketball and then you have men's basketball to make two different leagues, so it's fair for each of them.
Yeah, and so we're both pretty much on, I think, in the same place. That if you're male, you grew up as male, you've had that flush of hormones. It's not like you transitioned early on, and that might make a difference there, too. If you're transitioning later in life from male to female, you have that benefit of the stronger bone density and what testosterone does for muscles. And at that point, maybe it's not the best situation, but I have a hard time accepting that trans woman as being able to compete against, cis women? Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Because they have an advantage at that point.
But I still think they should be able to compete.
Yes, they should.
I think we should have a league.
Yeah.
But it is something like you have to make it fair for women. And it sounds so crazy, but cis women are in a league for a reason. And they separated them from the men so it would be fair.
A level
playing field for women in general.
Yeah.
So you have a 20-year-old guy that decides to transition to be a female. And now this female has had testosterone to go to the bones. The hip structure is literally different, and now they are competing with women.
Yeah.
It's an unfair advantage, especially in things like fighting, UFC and stuff. It's dangerous. But even track or running, I mean, there's an unfair advantage. But what's crazy, if it was the other way around, if it was if it was a female transitioning to be a male and competing with other males, there would be a disadvantage from the starting point.
Very likely.
It almost would be different, which is so weird
Mm-hmm.
to think about. It would almost be different if it was flipped around.
Yeah, it's biology and hormones. It's not emotions or prejudice.
But the sad thing is
medical.
Can you imagine actually being in that position? That would suck.
It would suck
from the trans athlete point of view.
It would suck as that individual, but either which way, there's going to be someone that loses in that situation. So I think we have to go for what is probably the more logical and the more biologically correct hormone-wise with advantage and disadvantage, because we separate out fighters based on weight categories.
And there's even age categories sometimes. There's a lot of different ways that they decide to separate athletes.
Yeah.
They do it often by age, by weight class. Like, they do not let the 150 pound fighters fight the 170 pound fighters. Yeah. Know why? Because the 155 pound fighters or 150 pound fighters are going to get the crap beat out of them.
And so what if I at 5'5" wanted to play pro football? I don't think I'd want to be out on that field.
You wouldn't make the team.
I wouldn't make the team to begin with. I'm not big enough. I'm not big enough. I'm not strong enough.
Or fast enough.
I'm pretty fast. I can put my feet up and down real quick.
Not NFL fast.
I learned how to. No, not that fast, but I can run quick.
If you're not big and you can't block, you better be
guy.
fast.
No, I'd just get my ass smeared. They would just grind me into the grass. Let's
read for a little while.
Yeah. BB, women have an advantage swimming because they have higher percentage of body fat. You are so right. That is another sport that would make a big difference in, because what ticked me off in college, it's like I didn't grow up with a pool at our high school. Our school was so small.
He's filling the beer.
We had no pool. And but in junior college, I took swimming because I've never been in a pool much. And we were graded as a class, everyone, men, women, were graded on how well you could float on top of the water. You're supposed to lay out there flat with your feet and your toes sticking up out of the water. The women could do this because they had extra body fat, the subcutaneous fat that just comes with having estrogen. And me and the black dudes especially had no body fat. We sunk like rocks, and yet we were graded to the same degree on being able to float as the women were. And that should not have been.
The only thing that I've looked at, qualifying times for the Olympics, the men category is always different than the female category. It's always more competitive in the men category. Virtually every sport. If you look at what it takes to qualify for a men's swimming versus women's swimming, it's always a tougher, more challenging time that you have to beat for the men's category. And virtually, or you have to jump higher. It's like that all throughout the whole.
Is that just probably the testosterone's effect on the strength of the muscles, the muscle tissue?
It's essentially why the Olympics separates the men and the women.
Yeah.
That's why the Olympics does it. That is why schools do it. Can you imagine, you sign up for basketball in 5th grade and it's just one team and the men and women have to play together. It would not be a fair fight for the women. Yeah,
and the thing is, okay, so what do you do then? Do you come up with, you have a women's team and a men's team and a men's to females team and a women to men's team? I mean, schools can't manage as many teams as they have already, and you wouldn't have enough students to fit in those other categories anyway. So it's an impossibility to really make that happen unless you were in a huge school. And I still don't think you'd get enough male to female or female to male to have their own team. I don't think so.
Guys, this is none of your business. Well, technically we're part of the LGBT community, which I never got because, yeah, you're right. I do not know what it's like to be trans.
And we said that to begin with. This is our opinion, and our opinion are not based in experience.
But
So
I mean,
it's just our opinion.
it's still
not gospel.
programs and stuff that are affecting everybody.
Yeah.
Like fighting program, basketball teams, those affect everybody. We're a community. Y'all have to come together, and we have to talk about this. It's a discussion, and it's okay to say the wrong thing, and we don't claim to know everything.
Okay, Alex Guevara. I'm not someone. Can we slow that so I can not miss his? I'm not someone who's into sports, but I am a trans guy, and I've been on hormones since 7th grade, but I'm not even good at sports in general. Yeah, and I'm not good at sports in general, and I'm cis. Well, I'm not cis male either because I'm gay, right?
I like this one. And
that one I've even got to look up. I never have understood.
I love this chat because you can kind of clarify if you misrepresented yourself.
Okay.
Somebody said something about women were cutting women
Thomas
short.
Colville. I can swim underwater for
No,
about
that's not
15 feet, one
Over
end
here.
to the other. I can't.
Look at this. I feel like you're selling women short here and their ability to play sports. Women can, like, at my gym, there are some badass women that can lift so much weight.
They beat my ass up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think women can be amazing athletes. I just think when you get to, like, the top levels, there's a reason they separate the men and the women. But, like, there's fighters out there that are women that would kick my ass. There's so many of them.
Yeah. So, but how do you make that decision then? I mean, no one's come up with the perfect system.
It's complicated for sure.
Since you got like the weight class separation, the sex separation. I mean, how do you come up with the formula that works for everyone?
You're going to discriminate against somebody.
Yeah.
In CrossFit, they definitely do the age classes. There is a fellow that goes to my gym when I go back home in Casper. There's this gym. It's a really nice gym. And he does CrossFit. He is 50 or 60. He's in the 50 to 60 age range for CrossFit, and he made top 20. But because he was in that weight class. Or not the weight class, I'm sorry, because he was in that age class.
Okay. So if he had been in the
he
20-year-old, he wouldn't have cut it.
But your body changes as you get older, and you actually have less testosterone.
My body's changed. I can verify that statement. Okay.
So
writing
let's go into it real quick. I feel like every sport has like a way to separate to make it fair. Whether it's weight classes, try to make it fair. But how do you do that? And the thing is, if you are trans and you want to compete at sports, like what do you do?
Yeah.
What is the alternative? That is a good question.
Yeah, I don't.
What is
I
the
don't
alternative?
know. See, I think getting into really gray zones, because everything there's a big gray zone.
This is
here.
a discussion. We obviously don't know all the answers.
So, I would think if you were born male and you've gone through puberty and had the testosterone, and then you transition to a female, I still think that you would probably be more correctly placed within a category in male sports. And just go out there and kick butt with the guys, even if you've transitioned to a woman. If you've had that natural hormone advantage at that point.
This is a sidetrack, but I watched a Try Guys video where they went and got their testosterone checked, and they were all low.
Really?
There's a lot of studies saying that men today, or young boys, are not getting like adequate amounts of testosterone in their body because of the diet, like getting microplastics that mimic estrogen.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of creepy.
Well, yeah, and I know there's been that whole thing that went on, and like years ago, with
your cousin,
with my cousin, he a female cousin, male cousin, and she was older, and her younger brother made fun of her when she started developing breast, and because her body was changing, he was making fun of her, and then his started changing too. He developed breast because of the hormones in the chicken at that time, is what they said.
The hormones in the meat.
In the meat, yeah. So now they're not allowed to put hormones in chickens anymore. But yeah, I mean, even in my family, I had someone that dealt with that. And so
there's like a whole like movement of people going to the gym that are on testosterone replacement therapy, and they're men because they go to the doctor and get like their testosterone levels checked, and they're like, wait, you're really low.
Yeah. And it's a thing with microplastics and the estrogen mimicking chemicals that are coming out of the plastic. So If we all knew, we probably should be drinking out of glass or taking things out of things without those chemicals.
To get back on track, we're going to go ahead and read some comments.
Yeah. And, well, I can't read them.
I just caught it up.
Okay. Jaden.
Oh, Eugene was fine. Sorry.
Jaden Meringue. I just watched an interview with Fallon Fox, a trans UFC fighter, and she says that if she doesn't take estrogen at least every day, she could get deathly ill, which is very sad.
I think
That would
that's
be
why.
difficult.
That is why the military was trying to get trans banned. It was mainly because of when you are in combat, it would be hard to have access to estrogen if you are overseas fighting. So it was more for that reason. So I get it. Once you're on like a hormone, like you have to stay consistent, or you actually go through mood swings, and you can get really ill.
Yeah. Sarah Anderson, it's going up too fast. I don't know if you can slow it. The hormone in soy is not estrogen, but just because the name is similar doesn't mean it's estrogen, and there's no correlation to soy and lower testosterone.
It's weird. I've heard different. And I've
opposite.
read differently. I think it's like another thing with diet. You got like somebody
Depends
telling
on
you
what you read.
Yeah. Somebody's like, hey, fat is good. The other person's like, fat is bad. Cholesterol is good. Cholesterol is bad. Meat is good. Meat is bad. It's so complicated with that kind of thing.
Yeah. So years and years ago, I was at the grocery store, and I was thinking, okay, maybe I want to start going to being maybe vegetarian. I wasn't sure, but I was buying soy milk, and an employee in the store came up and behind me, he says, "Don't buy that." And I'm like, "What?" He says, "I'm not supposed to do this, and don't ever tell anyone. I would really get in trouble. I make the selections for products in the organic section and in the health food section." And he says, "Don't eat soy. Nobody should be eating soy." He says, "I'll bring you some stuff." So I pretty much try to stay away from soy. I've read some on it, and I can live without eating soy, so I just don't, since it seems to be kind of iffy, and I've never had the time to delve into it. I've heard a lot more people say that soy is probably not a good thing to eat than
But I
have
have
say
heard
that
the
is.
opposite. Yeah, we have a friend that liked soy, and she read some book, and she's all for
All
soy.
for it, yeah. So
Everything in moderation. That is a
Yeah.
good comment.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Miller.
and that's it. It's like I like edamame, so I would probably on occasion eat edamame. I'm just not going to eat soy every day. Is kind of the way in moderation,
Philip Chandler. I've been consuming soy for years, and I'm healthy as a horse.
and that's great.
There's definitely an individual, like case by case situation when it comes to diet.
Yeah, because he can eat things that I can't, and I eat things that he can't.
Like a lot of the processed like MSG and a bunch of what else? There's all the other names,
Yeah.
But he gets headaches and gets like dietary issues.
Yeah, almond milk would be better though. Philip Chandler said that, and I like almond milk. And what? Oh, the hazelnut milk is like the one that I really like. And one of the things I look at because I don't tolerate it well is like the artificial flavor or natural flavoring. They don't call it artificial, even though I think it is. It's natural flavoring. And sodium caseinate is another big one that gets me. It's a milk derivative, and soy protein isolate, any kind of protein isolate, can't deal with that. But the hazelnut milk is the one that is not dairy milk that I found that I think is probably the best for me.
Somebody said, what was it? I heard it said the brain needs a certain amount of fat. Your brain is fat. I agree. I'm the person. I eat a lot of fat.
We no longer trim the fat off of meat. When we get chicken, we get beef. We don't trim any of the fat
And
off.
we get real butter.
And we get the grass-fed butter. It's more expensive, but you cook with grass-fed butter, and cook with regular butter, and it cooks differently. It's crazy. It acts different in the fryer. It smells different, and that's one of the things on watching different videos that I saw is like when we feed cattle now, put them up in a feed lot, and we're feeding them grain. That's not what cattle evolved to eat. They evolved to eat grasses and forbs and browse at time when they were the aurochs. So the high concentration in grain changes the way the fat is in the body, the way it's laid down in the muscle tissue. So that beef that is not grass-fed is different beef. It has different omega-3s in it, I believe is the deal. So we're trying our best to transition into grass-fed beef and other meats.
This is interesting.
Omar R. Thomas Coville, good to know. It's interesting to hear from folks who served and their opinions. That's why I brought up HIV earlier, because like Russ explained, positive folks still can't enlist. So thanks for providing that information, Omar R. Philip Chandler, I had to change years ago, though, because I can't digest dairy very well, so I stay off of it.
Everyone's different. Lactose intolerant would make you want to go to soy or another alternative, right?
Yeah. And then something that with his niece that we found out when it turns out that she's type 1 diabetic, we started looking into diabetes, type 1 and type 2. And one of the biggest correlations now that is out there is that there can be a problem with dairy for some people that may end up triggering type 1 diabetics into being
That's a whole
diabetes. That's a whole nother. Yeah, we should wait on that. I won't.
Yeah. We would need some information on that.
Thomas Coville, if trans people can't serve, why can people with allergies serve? Like people allergic to certain things, nuts, plants.
That's not all. Sometimes they can't. A lot of times, like if you have thank you for the donation, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel M.
Is the pizza returning to next week's chat? We need some pizza, man.
We had Chinese tonight. We had panda.
So people with certain allergies cannot serve in the military if it's a bad allergy. There's a lot of reasons that you can be disqualified from serving in the Army. Literally, there's skin disorders, there's being HIV positive, there is being flat-footed, there is certain mental health issues. If you are currently on medication, they try to get you to like not have medicine in your system for like 36 months.
Really? Okay, that's a long time.
So if you were taking medicine and transitioning, you are currently on medication. So I feel like you should be able to be in the military if you're trans, if you are not currently on medication, and if you have not went through the surgery yet. Because otherwise, if you just recently had the surgery, it takes a while to heal, and it's like having a wound.
Yep.
And you would not be deployable at that moment. But I feel like once... I almost feel like if
for your medical benefit.
But I feel like if you just or if you identify as trans and you want to serve in the military, but you're not on medication, or if you don't have any like wound, I feel like you should be able to.
I don't know if that's a correct term to use, but
it is. Okay. It takes a long time to heal from trans surgery.
Yeah.
It is a wound until it heals.
I guess so. Let's see what else here. Bradley Wood, hey guys, just got here about 10 minutes ago. How long have you guys been on? How can you tell just by looking? My eyesight's not. I can't tell how long it's been streaming.
Will, why can he say "and" and get away with it? Who are you talking about?
Oh, there's a country singer that was mentioned up above there. You missed it. I saw it, but you were talking.
I saw that. I saw the country singer was like drunk and walking on the street and said the N-word. I don't know. Am I the only one that just I don't like that word? I still do not like that word. I don't like the F word either. The F-A-G-G-G-G-G. I don't like that word either.
Yeah, I didn't grow up liking that.
And I don't like the
one,
Q word either. The one in LGBT.
Which some people embrace, and I can't.
I don't like any of those.
Yeah. But it's in LGBTQ. RSTVV.
This whole like reclaiming words thing, I think is kind of, it's not me, I guess.
Yeah. Omar R. Laugh out loud. It's late here, but God bless y'all for having this conversation. Quinn Howard, the Marine Corps is very strict to get into. My boyfriend's son was disqualified for his eczema. Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Skin conditions.
Yeah.
Seriously, eye problems. It's not like trans were the only community that is not allowed in the military.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of go this way because I'd probably be getting too close. But yeah, I have a relative that would really have loved to have been a pilot, wanted to be a pilot, but his eyesight prevented him. So
me either. Can't stand those words. Joey or Joseph or
Jose Benitez.
Jose Benitez.
Jose Benitez. Thomas Coville, I served with a trans man who retired. He took It's hard for me to do it when I'm not controlling. Sorry. I don't know where it went. What are you? I don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
Chelsea Cat. Chris, I would love to hear as triggers for your headaches. I'm a migraine sufferer for nearly 20 years, migraines with auras. I feel your pain and hope you've had relief. I have had relief. Go to a website, truthinlabeling.org. I really feel that probably saved my life. So I've had like a couple of like, I don't know, answers from the universe times in my life. And that was one of them. Is I was just like tired of having migraines, and it's like, okay, big cheese, God, universe, whoever, if anybody's listening, I'm on this side, and I'm done with dealing with these, and I'm gonna check myself out. And if it's not my time, I need an answer because I'm gonna make the decision. And it's crazy. Like that night, I found this website, truthinlabeling.org. And it was like I was reading about myself. I could have written it, and it has proven to be just, life-saving, literally.
Nothing is worse than being ignored. Michael, sorry if we ignored you. I don't know if that was us.
Where is that?
Right here.
Michael Schneider, you can't stop words, but you can identify who you're dealing with by them and act accordingly.
I think they were talking about like the Q word and the N word and all that.
Okay. Michael Schneider, nothing worse than being ignored. I don't know what that's referring
Maybe
to.
to us.
There was maybe something up higher than
Sorry
that.
if we honestly, there's a lot of comments.
we can't really see it going so fast. Writing Q. God, I feeling lost week old daddy without. I'm sorry, I can't.
Daddy without.
Can't. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not all there. Nathalie Navarrete, just a bunch of hearts. Nathalie, a bunch of hearts back to you. If you could move on down, Dylan, please. Omar R., yes, Chris, I'm a flight attendant, but no, the FFA makes you pass a pretty thorough medical examination to become a pilot, too.
Which,
yeah.
It makes sense. Let's be real. If you don't have good vision, or if you can't operate a plane because you have something wrong, that's dangerous. So yeah, you should have to pass a test of some sort.
Yeah, I mean it's a safety factor. It's unfortunate for the individual, because I mean you would like to be able to do what you want to do and what your dream is, but if there's a medical condition, I mean, okay. I am assuming. I cannot believe that someone with diabetes, especially type 1, could ever be a pilot, because we have relatives that absolutely just...
My niece, no way.
Just crash. They're just
no way.
They're not functioning. I have relatives that are hauled off to the hospital in an ambulance several times a year due to type 1 diabetes. And you just
I wish there was a cure, man. That is a tough disease.
Yeah, I hope that there ends up being... some type of, genetic therapy that they can do the splicing in, that can do something with that. I don't know if we'll ever get there.
This is a great question, too. Or
Thomas Colville, you two are great men. I wish I had men like you growing up to set an example for me as a gay man.
I always wanted to see masculine gay men that were working construction jobs or going to the gym a lot. That's what I wanted. Just to show that there's a whole huge community in the LGBT plus community.
Well, that's the thing at that point in life. The only people that you knew were gay were those that absolutely couldn't hide it. I mean, very effeminate guys, and
which are brave.
And they're the bravest ones because they're there. People are going to know it. There's no hiding it whatsoever. And I think I thought I was one of those. I mean, I couldn't hide it. I was trying not to be gay. I didn't want anyone to know I was gay, but everyone knew I was gay. I think
flamboyant gay guys and just the whole trans community, they are brave.
Yeah,
I have such mad respect for them.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of confidence, and you have to potentially go against what your family thinks and what society thinks just to be yourself. I think that's amazing.
Well, they're going to be pegged no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how nice they are, how good a person they are, how brilliant they are, there's going to be someone in school that pegs them and picks on them. There's no way. I mean, I got some of it. But the problem with is only those people being visible
Yeah,
and
yeah.
being known as gay. There's this whole other group of
Silent,
guys that are masculine
yeah.
that are the silent gays.
Yeah, yeah.
They couldn't peg themselves even as gay because they never got shown an example of someone that was masculine and was gay. So they didn't know what they were.
I feel like it almost perpetuates like guys staying in the closet too. I feel
Yeah.
like if there was like more masculine gay guys that were working on the oil rig or working construction, and they were just like, hey, I am gay, and you got to see it more in like movies.
Yeah.
And it is starting to come around. It's just, if you saw that more, I feel like you'd be like, oh, the gay community, there's a whole range of different kinds of personalities, which is great, right? If you're a good person, that's all that matters.
Heart's what's important. Barbito, the rapper Kendrick Lamar had a white girl on stage singing his song that had the word in it, and he got mad when she said it. I think that's kind of messed up because she didn't have ill intent. We know the exact video on that.
We almost did something along the line of that. I kind of feel like if you're putting lyrics in your music and someone literally pays to go to your concert and is singing your lyrics and you get mad at her for singing your lyrics, you got to see that that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, we're right there with you.
And then it's like you're trying to reclaim the word, and you did. It successfully reclaimed it for somebody who literally is a fan and singing at your concert, which paid money, so they obviously respect you. And then you get mad at them. I feel like like that's gonna eventually happen. You reclaim a word and you put it in a song and it becomes a hit song that it goes to the mainstream. That thing is, it didn't stay in a community, it went to the mainstream. So you end up reclaiming it for especially people who the first time they hear that word, or maybe not the first time, but the first time they start hearing that word a lot was because of music.
Yeah, we're like right there because the lyrics to a song are the lyrics to the song. And if you listen to the song, they go into your brain, and when they come out, they're not spit out as something else. They're spit out as the lyrics to that song.
This might be like something that people don't want to answer, but how many you listen to a song and sing all the lyrics in your head, even if it's a word you're not supposed to say?
You got to.
Not because you want to, and not out of disrespect, just because you're singing along. I didn't say it makes it right to
Igor
say the N-word.
Nerve said the masculine guys are on the down low. And that is another big problem. They can hide.
Yeah, the N-word, I do not want to say the N-word personally. This is to Jeffrey Miller. I agree that you shouldn't, but I'm saying if you say a word a whole lot and you're saying it to potentially kids if it's in a song, and you're going to put it out there, and it's probably going to be said more often because you're putting it out there instead of letting the word die down.
Angelo Paolo Sardo Alvarez said, can you guys kiss each other? I'm going to take a screenshot and frame it, then find out the way to send it to you.
Okay.
I'm from Guatemala, Central America, by the way. Love. All right, Angelo.
Okay, let's move the mics. Give her... Ready?
Give it. Okay.
I didn't want to make it too OnlyFans.
All right.
We are the revolution. Our evolution. Is that what is that context for? Am BB in the future be straight will be lamest thing ever? Oh, to be straight?
Do you know? Do you follow that?
In the future.
MBB? What's that? MBB?
I only know one BB and it stands for bareback.
Oh.
Or bed and breakfast. I don't know.
Omar, I remember that head of the soccer team in high school came out to me when we were in college. I think he was just afraid to come out at the time. You guys are spot on. We're a diverse community. Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think it's bad to have masculine influences.
Why would it be mad?
Well, I mean, some people think that all uber masculine men are toxic, and that does exist, but it doesn't mean you have to. You could be like a badass fighter, like a sports person, good at football. You could just be a good leader that people turn to you if they have an issue, and you become a leader. You become dominant, and I think you can be a good person still. Of course. And have very masculine qualities. I don't think every masculine person is toxic. There was some stuff on that, but I think it's a
toxic masculinity.
It's a small group of people who really believe that, I think.
Yeah, I hope. I don't believe in the whole toxic masculinity. There can be assholes, but it's not that they're toxic masculine. They're just assholes.
Just like feminine energy can be toxic, but it's mostly not. It's just people doing what they got to do.
Jesse Addy, I seriously don't think I can come out. Jesse Addy,
I have
can't
hair in my mouth.
can't tell you one way or the other, Jesse Addy, because I don't know your situation. I think depending on what country you're in, it could be very difficult to come out in some countries, like an impossibility.
I don't think I would have come out if I didn't find this guy. I waited for a somewhat stable relationship. Like, we had been together for a while, and I started loving you, and I fell in love with you, and you loved me, and I was like, okay, at this point, I'm going to tell my parents and my family because I want to give them the chance to be involved with my life, because I don't think I would have been very close with my family if I didn't come out.
Yeah.
I was like slowly distancing myself, and my family was nice, and I'd still talk to them on the phone, but I just was not including them in my life at all.
Yeah.
Or I was just like skirting around what I was really doing, which was being gay or being bi and being with guys and being with you. So
yeah. And I totally get that, because I mean, I went through like this whole long period in
who's older?
In my who's older?
Sorry.
Which one?
I don't know.
Not the short guy. No. Yeah, I went through like a whole long period in my life where my thought was, okay, because I was starting to be active right when AIDS came on the scene.
Scary.
I mean, I was with
Scary.
my first boyfriend when people started dying, and then soon people were dropping like flies, and no one knew why. They called it the gay plague. They didn't have
The gay cancer.
The gay cancer. They didn't have a name for it. Didn't know what it was. So during that whole long process, I would I can't come out to my folks. I can't come out to my family unless I'm in a relationship, and I can say, okay, I'm not going to catch anything because I'm with one person, type of thing. That was my way of thinking. And then I'd have a relationship and be just about to the point of getting there to have a conversation, and the relationship would crash and burn, and then it's like, now you're back at square zero. You can't talk to your parents. That was the way I viewed it. Whether it was right or not, that's what I did. Alessandro Linares, how can I trust an older man if they always do the same? I don't know what other older men you've been with, but
how can I trust an older man if they always do the same? Same what?
Yeah, I don't know what the...
Are they doing something that's the same that's bad or
jerks? Good? Bradley Wood, wouldn't it be nice to be known as Chris Dylan Bradley, known as our names not as some tag, but as my good friend Bradley? I totally get that too.
So not as what's that?
So it's not like, okay, this is my friend George. He's gay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't say that about a straight friend. No one ever in history did that with their straight friends. Oh, this is Barbara. She's straight. It's not a thing.
I constantly have to come out to people, and I don't do it just like, hey, my name's Dylan and I'm gay. What usually happens is like today, somebody said, what do you do? And I was like, well, I have a YouTube channel. And they're like, and we had to talk for about an hour, and they look it up and they're like, oh, so they saw whatever the feed showed them. I don't know, but they're like, oh, you have a husband. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I just came out to that person, but he was cool. But yeah, I feel like I'm always constantly doing that.
Mario Gutierrez, love you guys. Can you send me a kiss? Let's see. Omar R. Russ, you remind me of this Canadian guy I met who worked in oil in Alberta. I had it went too far, too fast, it just started kicking in.
I can try to find it again if you want.
I worked on an oil rig in Alberta. I had such a crazy crush on him. Chris, we've come a long way. Thanks goodness. PrEP is doing a lot to defeat the stigma. Yes.
PrEP. What position was he on the oil rigs? Just curious. I was at Aircan.
Yeah, Omar R. He will know what you're talking about. Wayne M., even with my cheap-ass headphones, you both have great radio voices.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne M. Jaden Metzko. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. I binge watch your videos at 3 a.m. Love y'all. Thank you.
By the way, I did do a music video reaction recently, and it got blocked. So we would have had a video out, but yeah, sometimes when you do music videos, the label blocks your video.
Yeah. And we actually tried to film a couple of videos. We ended up getting in arguments. So
again?
No, when you and I tried to film.
Oh, this was a while back.
Yeah, this is a while back.
Yeah, we already told him on the last stream.
Okay.
Because we are a couple and we argue. I say fight. He says...
I say argue. He says fight. I say argue. No black eyes, so to me it's argue.
Yeah.
Uh,
That can't be said about somebody I'm close to. I'm not going to say who, but like
Oh.
somebody literally that I'm close to, their girlfriend is beating the crap out of them. And it's like, what am I? I'm not going to call the cops. That's like kind of like against a code or something. I don't know.
Yes, is that person's decision to make that call
Yeah,
or not?
yeah. And what's crazy is I like her. I think she's cool, but then it's like, well, actually, I can't like her. She's crazy.
Bradley Wood,
Thank you for the
Thank you.
$20,
Yeah.
Bradley. That means a lot.
Yeah, well, we both know that with that situation, there's alcohol involved, and that's really the factor there for that individual. Yeah, so
What's
the
that?
beating.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the alcohol. That
But if it was
changed.
reversed, man, like what's crazy is if it happened to my sister or somebody that was,
Or a
it was a
woman.
woman that I knew,
and a guy was hitting them,
just a woman that I was close to that I actually knew, I would be kind of feeling violent because there is something about like a man.
you're protective.
Yeah, but a man hitting a woman, it does sound a little like unfair.
Well,
But it's screwed up either way.
But no one should be hitting anyone.
No one should be hitting anyone.
Yeah. Jaden, Mark, you guys, stream delay is literally 0 to none.
Stream
Good.
delay. What
I don't know exactly what that means.
do you guys have an OnlyFans? Dude, I get this question so often.
We do not have
What
an
if we did an
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans where we just teased? The thing is, I don't know. I'm serious. Like we showed everything, but dude, I don't know if I want like some of our intimate moments going out to everybody. Like some of it I could share, but like some of it, it's like, come on, man.
No, we're married. It's kind of our stuff.
It's like we have to keep some spice between us, even though we need to do more of that spice soon, because we've had some different schedules lately, which happens when you're with somebody for 10 years.
Terry and Al, spirit stalking. Hi, guys. What does
howdy.
that mean? Do you know what spirit stalking is?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Terry and Al, could you explain to us, please, what spirit stalking indicates? We're not familiar. Indigays. It's so nice to see some fellow gays with some real common sense opinions around these controversial issues. FYI, I wasn't accepted into the military because of tinnitus ringing in the ears. Yeah, another
just
medical
wish-
condition.
I just wish when people would like see the news and they hear a story like trans people were not allowed in the military, that you at least look into the issue and see what the deal is. I'm not saying that there's not like some things that are not right about the situation. I feel like if you are trans and you have not had the surgery and you are not on medication and you are willing to serve and be deployed, I feel like it's okay. But if there is an issue that is keeping you from being deployed, like
That's
you
a
just had a
medical issue.
surgery, or if you're on medication, the military will basically not let you serve for a lot of different reasons if you're on medication or have like some sort of surgery or something.
Okay, Maddie B 567567. What year were you married, and what state? Are you close with each other's families?
We just
were
got married.
married this year, the first full day of spring. March
But we've
the
been
20th.
together 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
But when we first met, like marriage was not an option.
Yeah.
We considered like, would we ever have their ceremony between us? And we talked about that, but we didn't. I had no idea that Montana was
We'd
going
get
to
to.
like legal in our state. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, but it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
I
and yes,
like
our
this one.
families, our families accept us.
This one's great too.
Indigays. It's nice to see some. Oh, no, that's the one I just read.
Oh, you did read? Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
BB, do you think it's wrong if a gay man doesn't want to date a female to male transgender person?
Do I think it's wrong? No, I think you have a preference, and I think that if you were like mean to that person, that would be wrong. But I feel like you're gonna have a sexual preference or like a preference, and it goes so much deeper than just like being gay or straight or whatever. Like seriously, some people like hairy, some people like Asian, literally. Some people like older. Some people like short, tall. Some people like chicks with a penis. We know somebody. We won't say any names, but like that's what they're into, like that.
Well, no,
or-
that they would not have a problem with that.
Okay,
That's-
so they're into that too.
they
additionally.
could be. They
Okay.
could be into that.
But-
They've never had that opportunity, but think that they could go there.
But if somebody was mean to somebody because of that, that's different than not being sexually attracted to them.
Yeah, and I think it's just like, it probably depend on the individual. I wouldn't judge the person either which way. I have seen some female to male.
Dude, Dude,
At least the parts
oh,
that I saw.
Somebody mentioned Buck Angel.
Oh, that's the one I'm talking about. It's like I think he's
I don't
hot.
like him so much now, but
Really?
I
Well,
did.
it's been a long time since I've seen him.
He
but
had
the
a handlebar mustache. If you look, he's
I
got a
thought
handsome
he was
face.
hot
Yeah.
looking. He is a handsome guy. Yeah. Jeffrey Miller, unedited version of your bathtub video on your OnlyFans.
Oh man, you would definitely see some balls. You would, especially getting up to like adjust the camera. You'd see some hangers.
BB, no, that's preference.
BB,
okay.
bear. What is BB? No, that's preference.
I don't know.
Is that
what BB
bareback?
I don't know. Barbatu B. It may be part of the name. Barbatu BB.
Oh,
maybe
okay,
that's what
okay.
that is.
Is
Maybe we figured that out. Barbataru BB.
Okay.
Maybe that's that person's ID. Janny Ripper. It means your stream is awesome. Oh, thank you. So we're just the delay is not like being weird, which I don't necessarily know how we'd know if the delay, if they would know our delay is crazy.
Yeah, we're not
or
watching their
not.
screen.
So Sean Meehan, what is your secret to having such a strong relationship? My boyfriend.
It's right there.
My boyfriend and I have 16 years between us, and we're 8 months strong. What's our secret? We just get along well. You know, we respect each other.
It's different day to day.
Yeah.
We have our tough days, and we have good days.
Yeah, we have our issues.
I can't imagine him not being in my life. That's a big one. That's kind of what I'm thinking more than anything. I just like you being in my life. We do well spending a lot of time together. We try to talk things out. We both know we're both wrong sometimes. We both own up to it.
That's a bigger
That's
thing.
huge.
We admit we're wrong.
And because we both are wrong.
Yeah.
We both interrupt each other sometimes. We both have moments where we're just not nice to each other. And we're like, dang, I was being mean to you. Or you'll say it to me. And it's nice to know that you're going to own up to something.
Yeah.
That is so important. And then we have things in common, of course. Like we do like nature. We like travel. We get entertained by some of the same music. We have a lot of the same like political and spiritual views.
Yeah. And
We have a lot in
here's the
common.
big thing. Like he'll say, well, I don't deserve that. Why are you being such an ass? And I realize I'm not necessarily I'm not responding to just what he said. I'm responding to what he said that triggered the old pathways from way, way, way long ago
Past
in prior relationships. So, you have to, I think that's the big thing. If we look at why we react and respond in the way we do, we're very often not responding to the moment. We're responding to a hurt in the past.
I human, a feeling, not sexual. I wonder what that means. Right there? Did I read it wrong?
No, writing cue. I don't know. Maybe is that an individual that considers themselves asexual? Like they just
okay, it
not,
could be.
Not into
That's
it?
a possibility too. Just like you have a sexual attraction to somebody, and everyone has a different attraction to a different kind of person, you can be not sexually into someone. That is a thing.
I think again that's very unusual. A variation, an outlier.
It is unusual, I think, but
yeah,
it's possible.
But
Isn't
you're there.
I
If that's
think
what you
there's communities.
feel, that's what you
I think
feel.
you can actually like go online now and date somebody who's also asexual, which is pretty cool. They might not even mean that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know.
Angelo, Pablo, Sandra, and again, it's jumping. Sorry. Thomas Coville. I struggle sometimes thinking about my husband dying before me. He is 9 years older. I really need some advice on this. Does 9 years make a big difference?
Well, we're both in that boat together because I'm struggling with that sometimes. He's had a lot of heart things, and man, I've been brought to tears more than once.
Yeah. It was like one time he found me and was like, the doctor said I would have been going on to the other side had he not been there to find me. Carlos Rivera. Hi, guys. It's okay to be different. The makeup is worth it if you know what I mean. Carlos Rivera. The makeup is worth. Oh, making up after.
The makeup
argument.
sex.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, makeup sex.
Yeah. I thought you were like, I went way too literal. I thought you were talking makeup.
Makeup.
Makeup. Yeah. I was like, we don't wear makeup. I was like, maybe he thinks we wear makeup.
Jeffrey Miller at Terry and Al Spirit Stalking. Congrats. Okay, we missed. Oh, Terry and Al Spirit Stalking. I met my partner in my early 20s, and we've been together ever since. I'm 55 now. Yeah, congratulations. We still didn't find out what spirit stalking means, unless that's referring to someone else that has left a message here.
Maddie B 567567.
Okay.
One from the Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd era. One from the Gun Guns N' Roses era and Nirvana era. I like all of those bands, especially Pink Floyd.
And okay, I stay country up to flight. Okay. So I think Terry and Al is one couple or person on here, and then Spirit Stalking is another, and they're responding back and forth.
Oh, word.
I think that's what it is.
Okay. So there's
writing
inside
queue,
stuff that we don't
feeling
understand.
we LGBT, you're COVID-19.
Don't know.
1967, Sofaman, what is that? Lots of love from San Francisco, man.
What is it like right now in
Lots
San
of
Francisco?
love to you too. Yeah.
I've heard the lockdown stuff is pretty harsh, and I know the prices are tough, but I've heard it's a cool city. Besides that, I hear it's a pretty city. And I did go through it when I was younger, but it was quite a while ago. And I remember it was like rolling hills with colorful houses, and I was like, wow, this is pretty. There's actually another story, but I probably shouldn't tell it, right? You remember it. I walked into a rest stop and I was 16, and some handlebar mustache guy walked up and like came next to me and looked at my junk. But I was only 16 and he was older, and I was like, my parents are in the car, so I better go.
I wasn't
Just
there.
telling it as it is.
That was before he met me.
Even though I had a lot of hormones, even at 16, but it was tempting.
Oh,
Nothing happened.
wait. Can you go straight back down?
Yeah.
Terry and Al, Spirit Stalking, we have a YouTube channel where we do ghost hunting together, and I read fortunes.
That would be
cool.
sweet.
So we'll have to look up Spirit Stalking. We'll look that up. Let's see, Maddie B567567. You can tell from the pain on his face that he worries about losing his older partner one day. I try not to worry about stuff like that, but it's hard. Yeah, we get it.
I try not to worry as well, but there's times where it's thrown in your face.
Yeah.
And you have no choice.
And Mel Superman says Spirit Stalking might mean ghost hunting. You were right on. Jaden Metzko, odd question, but have y'all ever watched NASCAR? Yeah.
My stepdad loves NASCAR. I would like to go check it out. It's never really been my expertise. Oh shoot.
Did we lose everything?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, there we are.
Sorry about that.
So I grew up in Alabama, so I was close to the Talladega Raceway, and I've never been to the Talladega Raceway.
I've been through it. Or
We've been by it.
Yeah, right by it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite planets?
Yeah. What's your favorite?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one, but
I've never been asked.
I've never been asked what my favorite planet is. I think I'd probably have to say Saturn because the rings, they're so unusual.
Okay.
Yeah. But Uranus is pretty cool too because
You like-
with the binoculars you can see the 4 moons.
You do like my anus.
I do like Uranus.
It had to be said. What's your guys' thought
Good
on Earth
what?
flatters? Oh, like flat earthers?
I don't
think-
believe in a flat Earth.
I don't either. But I have watched some interesting videos, but I haven't really dove into that world yet.
Yeah, and now I have a science background. I've looked at everything, and then like I looked at a couple of flat Earth videos just because I'm not going to close my mind. It's like, no. Just think about it. Think of all of the pilots and the flight attendants that fly around this round planet all the time, and what a big cover-up that would have to be if this was really a flat planet and these people were not flying around a nearly round ball. There's no way you could keep that many people's mouths shut.
Well, with
that
bridges
were flying
too.
over a flat Earth.
They make bridges with like a curve in them.
Yeah, and you go
You have
to
to, like,
the
engineer
ocean.
that.
If
Pluto
you're
got
lucky enough
screwed.
to go to the
Yeah.
beach and you're on a boat and you look out, you can see the curvature. It's there.
Pluto did get screwed. They're not a planet because their mass is not big enough. They still orbit around the sun, and they are still round. What does it have to be a planet? What do you have to be to be a planet? You have to orbit around the sun. You have to have a certain amount of mass and be round. Is that right? I'm trying to remember. There's like 3 things that you have to do to become a planet. And
To a certain size, maybe?
I do know that Pluto did not make the size or did not meet the size requirement because they found other things in the atmosphere
and
that
I
were
think
about
it was
the same
size
size.
discrimination.
It was a size discrimination for sure, because they would have had to call a lot of other things in our in space. planets as well.
Mel Superman said, when this pandemic is over with, you two should come to Buffalo and get some real pizza and wings.
Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York. Okay, all right.
Buffalo Bills, man.
Dude, I want to come to Buffalo because of buffalo gardening. I don't know. Tell me if you're familiar with this. There's whole books about it. In Buffalo, New York, apparently the big trend has been removing lawns and planting flowers or vegetables, other plants other than just lawns. And now it's like a bigger attraction, from what I understand, in Buffalo than Niagara Falls. And I want to go because I like plants.
I call Size Queen Pluto is a planet. Yeah, I agree. And we learned it our whole life.
Dude, JoJo, hello from the Marshall Islands. I don't think we've ever had anyone from the Marshall Islands. That's so cool.
That is cool.
All right.
There was something.
Bonjour, Terry and Al. Momo said that to bonjour.
Sorry, but flat earthers are dumb. I do think it's, I've had that thought before, but I haven't talked to them, and I haven't been in that echo chamber. Sometimes if you put yourself in an echo chamber and you have a bunch of information fed to you only within that bubble, you're going to start thinking a certain way.
Yeah.
It happens with certain religions and stuff too.
Echo chambers are dangerous. But yeah, okay, so here is like the coolest story I could ever tell of being on a plane. I was flying from D.C. to Amsterdam.
Bonjour, mo mom.
And we're going over Iceland, and I'm looking down, and my first impression is there's this ship on fire out in the ocean. And it's like, oh my, this crazy. It's like we're flying over, and I'm seeing the ship on fire. So I just kept watching it and kept watching it. And I'm looking down at this burning ship. And what it ended up being was not a burning ship at all. It was the moon coming up over the other side of the earth down below there. But it was like I'm looking down on it, and it's the moon coming up over the ocean. It was crazy. Blew me away.
Momo, I do have a question. What is your question? Spirit stalker, you never get me on a plane. You're afraid of planes? Well, I guess if you don't have a vaccine soon, you're not going to be able to get on a plane anyways. Are you going to get the vaccine, guys? I'm not going to right away. I feel like it's too new, and maybe I'm weird, but we've already had this discussion. I don't like having like hormones in me, even though I considered it at 14, but once my prefrontal cortex developed, I was like, I don't know about that. No steroids for me. But
we just
also,
don't like needles.
Needles I don't like. I don't really like prescription drugs unless I absolutely have to. So like getting a immunization is also kind of iffy for me, especially when it's new. I mean, we're not going to know the long-term effects, and immunizations cannot be treated equally. Some have been bad, or some are different. Some have had negative effects. I think the polio vaccine had some issues back in the day. And they had to like discontinue a whole bunch of vaccines.
Well, so, I don't know. Maybe one batch. Is that what you're talking about? There was a batch that
was a batch that was bad.
That had.
What happened? What happens if that was a COVID batch? Like, what if you get a bad COVID batch, and then 10 years from now you get like some sort of weird disease?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We just watched a video that my mom sent.
We were in an echo chamber about vaccines for a little while. So
yeah, so we're kind of waiting. I respect other people, but right now, I'm gonna wait.
It's not scary. No side effects. I had the first dose. That's good. I have had one friend that had like some side effects.
So what was the term we just learned? That with
it triggers your like an immune response, like a hyper immune response.
Yeah, we would have to look this back up, but that's the reason we don't take vaccines for colds. I mean, they're so varied, but apparently there's a whole process in there that it can trigger hyper reactions, and I kind of understand it, but not enough to talk about it. COVID is evolving, so who knows if it'll even protect you. That's Jaden Marag. Don't know if I said that right again. So yeah, that's it. See, it's a coronavirus. Cold is a coronavirus. So I don't know.
My biggest issue with the vaccine is right now, they do not know if you are going to continue to be able to spread the virus once you get the vaccine. And I'm like, isn't that the point of a vaccine? Besides keeping you alive, isn't the other main point to keep you from spreading it?
Yeah.
But it's like, they don't know yet. It's like, that's That's kind of weird.
So there's so many unknowns with this thing.
But that's just me. I know that there's going to be people who are going to get it, and that's fine. I think at this point when it's new, it does make sense that it's like a personal decision.
Okay.
For me, at least.
I love you says my sister works in a hospital. She got it so far. She's good. They told her on the second shot she's going to be tired, fever, etc. Yeah, and we've known some people that have gotten it and have not had any negative reactions to it at this point. Donald Ward, can you slide up?
Sorry, we got behind on the chat.
We don't know where it went. Donald Ward.
Chris is filling the beer.
I'm a cheap date. What can I say?
Donald Ward, here it is, Chris.
I don't plan on getting the vaccine either unless my work forces me to. Yeah.
Well, it might come a time where you can't fly on a plane until you get the vaccine or whatnot. But
Quinessa and gaming vlogs to see my sister has been sick for sister's been sick for 10 days from the vaccine. Yeah, I mean everyone's different genetically. And chemically, so it's going to affect people. There's probably going to be situations where this was exactly the right thing to do, and others where it's a really bad decision. And how do you know? You don't know until you've gone through it.
Who is the dormant one?
Dominant.
Dominant one. Does age affect this? Who's dominant out of us? I don't know. Probably depends.
I don't know.
How so?
He's stronger.
Yeah, but
tie me down, beat my ass if he wanted to.
We're pretty mutual.
Yeah, we don't try to dominate each other. That's it. It's like we're not.
He cooks one night, I cook the next night. I know it's not about that, but it gives you an example. We trade off.
We kind of do most all the things that one can do.
Mm-hmm.
We.
Are you meaning in the bedroom though?
No.
There's different things. I'm trying to figure out what that question actually means. Does it mean like everyday life, like cooking and cleaning?
That's the way I was
stuff?
taking it.
Or are you talking in the bedroom? Because there's both.
Yeah, and we're versatile.
The truth is, this COVID won't fade off that easily anyway. The viruses are deadly.
Or deadless.
Are deadless.
And I don't know if they meant deadly or deadless.
The thing is, if you're like, over 65, your chance of dying is pretty high. Compared to like the rest of the group, it's like 5%.
It's not 5%.
That's higher than the rest of the percentages for like a 20-year-old.
Yeah. For a 20-year, it's
like 90.
Your chance of survival is 99.99997 or 99978 or something other. So there's very little likelihood that you're going to succumb to the virus if you're younger, unless you've got an underlying medical condition. So.
But if you're 65, if you have a 5% chance of potentially getting it and dying, then maybe getting a vaccine would be the less risk in that case.
Who knows?
But there's going to be a risk. Virtually everything you put in your body, there's going to be, at least for one person who puts something in their body and they're going to have a bad reaction.
Let's face it, getting in the car and driving down the road is a risk.
But I'm saying
everything we do is
But I think
risk.
the vaccine is probably going to end up being a low risk. I think that the majority of people probably won't have a bad reaction, but there's going to be somebody who does.
Yeah.
Just like somebody's allergic to peanuts.
Yeah, I just kind of I don't want to be the guinea pig. I just want to wait and see.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
I mean, if it were a situation where it hadn't been rushed, I mean, and it makes sense that in one way that it is rushed because we've got a whole planet of people that are susceptible and everyone's freaking out and trying to figure out what do we do, when can we be safe, how can we be safe. It's not a perfect situation, and it's not going to be. Muppeteer, what a comfy setup. Always feel comfy watching you guys video. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The vaccine.
Muppeteer.
What is this?
Muppeteer.
Peter Henson.
Henson.
Sorry about that. I'm dyslexic. The vaccine prevents spread. So there really should be, or you should do it for your loved ones. I have heard both sides. I mean, maybe you all should Google this too, because I could be wrong, but literally I've been trying to Google it, and it says that literally they do not know, at least from what I've seen, if the vaccine is going to keep you from spreading it to loved ones. And they recommend that you continue to wear a mask after you get the vaccine.
Yeah. So, we've still got to just all kind of monitor. And here's the big thing. Look at different news feeds. Don't just stay in your own echo chamber.
Which we all do. We get stuck in the echo chambers.
But
too.
we try to go out of our echo
do
chamber.
try.
We make a point to try to go out of our echo chamber. because we know the term echo chamber.
I'm really curious on this. It says thoughts on Lil Nas X's latest news.
What is the
happened?
latest news? That's Extension Cord. Yeah, we don't know Lil Nas X's latest news. We're kind of clueless. Terry and Al, spirit stalking. Albert's the stronger one. I'm the smarter one. Neither of us play a dominant role, though. Okay. And Michael Schneider. Thanks, boys. Have a wonderful evening. You too, Michael Schneider.
What is dominant, though? I always wonder, is like fishing a dominant role? And like moving rocks when we work on the rock wall? What's dominant?
I don't know. Maddie B567567. Can you guys answer at Jaden's comment? Laugh out loud.
Okay, where is it?
I don't know where Jaden's. Maybe.
Oh, right there.
Okay, Jaden Meringue. I looked more into Fallon Fox, and apparently she popped someone's eye out of their socket, and she also broke an opponent's skull. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
Who is Fallon Fox? Is she a transgender athlete that was male to female?
I'm guessing that's...
Because I saw that. Okay. I saw essentially what happened, and this is even why we're kind of doing the video. I essentially saw a trans fighter, and it was a strong male that transitioned to be a female and then fought other females and beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
So I feel like, that's kind of
not a level playing field.
That's not a level playing field.
I mean, that's...
In that situation. I know you could have other situations where, maybe we could talk about it, but in that situation, you got a tough guy that transitions to be a female and beats the crap out of females. It's like, beat the crap out of females, as far as I know, and really hurt them. I think that's messed up.
Okay.
A trans MMA fighter, male to female, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about too.
Brandon Landon says, how many live streams have you done?
This is only our third
one.
That's why we're kind of rusty. We're getting better.
Yeah. Chelsea a cat. Nas X bought some very big, very realistic breasts. They're not implants.
Well, I'm all for that. See,
it makes him feel good.
So it's important to know that when we talk about like trans fighters and stuff, it's a different it's a different topic than whether or not we accept trans people, because obviously we accept trans people.
Why not?
And like if someone is confident enough to wear big boobs, it's like, I don't care. That's good for them.
Yeah. So I
he's
like
an artist too, so he's creative.
Yeah, I like it anytime people are comfortable in their own skin and going outside the box or what have you. We went to a wedding years ago where there was a gay man that was in his high heels, so flamboyant as he could be, and we're leaving. I was like, he's one of those that he can't hide it. There's no way that individual could hide being gay. He's one of the guys that unfortunately in school was going to get beat up by the jocks and what have you. No, we find out later he likes women. He just also likes his high heels.
Which is yeah. There's
I think it's funny and it's great.
There's a lot of people that do like drag that are straight.
Yeah. We know like one drag queen or of them. I mean, we've spoken with them, don't know them well. He's straight, got kids. Yeah, but looks good in drag.
Apparently his breasts were enormous, bigger than female rappers.
That's big.
Yeah, that is big. Well, if you're going to get breasts, you might as well get big ones.
Okay, Donald Ward, I feel like if I was trans, I'd rather have small boobs. Big boobs seem to get in the way.
Well, big boobs actually...
We could all ask Dolly.
That's another thing when it comes to sports, too. Once you have like boobs, like your balance, your center of gravity is just different.
Yeah.
But yeah, what would you do? Oh, dude, what would you do if I said I was trans and going to transition? What would you do, hypothetically, or vice versa? If you
okay, so
that's a good question.
I mean, I can't say for sure, but I mean, let's face it, we're not like 3 times a day in the bedroom. And I love your heart. I love you as a person. So I honestly think I would accept you.
But would you need like something on the side? Maybe. I mean, be real. I'm just curious.
Because 58 years old.
Okay. What if you were 30?
I can.
When I met you, your testosterone.
I can grab a video. I can grab a book.
Okay, so you just Rosie Palm it.
I'd go for the Rosie Palm.
So if you were going to transition into a female, I don't know.
We've got to do my genetic test and see.
If you were going to transition to be a female, though, I
No.
would be a little. I don't know. I think I would miss your penis, dude.
Well, I'm sure I'd miss yours because I like that guy.
I would miss it. That's the thing. I'm just being honest. I'd miss your penis if you were going to chop it off.
Well, I would yours too.
That's just being like truly honest.
But I would miss yours too. But I would like not like toss you out like last week's garbage, you know. So
You don't have to worry. I would miss my own penis too. It's
I
not
know
going
you're
anywhere.
I know you're not going there.
What would you guys do? What would you do if your partner was going to transition to the opposite? What would you do?
I don't think people really know.
I don't think. I mean, it's one of those things like you probably don't know until you're in that situation.
I mean, would I be right with my assumption?
Because we love each other,
Maybe I'm
and
wrong.
love is important. Don't get me wrong, but I did fall in love with you as a man. I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. It's like a discussion that people don't always want to have. These discussions are good,
Yeah.
and I'm always scared to talk about this kind of stuff
if I
online.
only loved you as your penis, then it would be a death blow.
But
if
when-
that's all I liked about
When we are in the sack, it is one of the things you compliment on me. You compliment that the most.
well, it's there in my face. What am I going to say?
So if all of a sudden I didn't have it, what would you do? It's a fair question.
I would miss that guy.
Let's be real.
I would miss that guy.
I think some people would be okay with it, and some people would be like, I don't know if I could do this.
I know. I think you would have to be in that position to know for 100% sure which way you're gonna go. I mean, you know,
So Jason Camper, I wouldn't care. That's awesome.
cool.
I do
And-
think
and
some people won't care. Some people really are into like whatever, you know.
Yeah,
or
Jason Kova, I'd
pansexual.
love my baby anyway, but I'd be scared. Yeah, and see, that's where I think I would be.
I'd be scared of like the pain that you'd have to go through, just like literally the surgery itself, even.
Yeah, because
I'd be
we just
scared.
don't like surgery. I mean, I wasn't fond of my wrist surgery, so
And I think it's important to know that surgery does not always go well for everybody.
it
And
goes
some
well
peop-
for some and
some-
bad for
yeah.
others. It's like plastic surgery on the face.
Yeah. Oh, one of the worst trans surgeries that I've ever seen, and it's nothing against the people. It's just like the idea of it is mortifying. They literally took a piece of skin from a trans man, female to male. They took a piece of skin right here, like a big chunk of skin, and it looked like a nasty, like open wound. And they made a penis out of it, and the person was having trouble like bending their wrist for like months afterwards. I'm like,
If not forever,
it's
that would
like
be
you
the
need your
toughest thing.
hand. You need your hand. I guess they can take like a piece of skin from the thigh instead. I'm like, well, that's probably smarter. You would never want to take skin from like a joint.
See, I wonder if
There's a
they've
joint
done
right
this
there.
yet. With like being able to grow cells in tissue culture. Why haven't or can they like take skin cells and like grow in a petri dish or something and grow your own cells so that the body doesn't reject them and grow something? I mean, they grow organs in containers, for replacement now. You'd think that they could do the skin thing so that you didn't end up having the problems with your wrist or your thigh or wherever the skin graft is taken from.
Dude, you saw that video, right?
Oh, yeah,
It
it was
looked
painful.
angry. It looked angry. And this person liked to lift weights and stuff, and they were having issues like they lost mobility in their wrist. I'm like, maybe they could have taken it a little bit further up.
Peter Henson said, "I've seen some sexy trans men who kept the vag. I'd be down for that."
I have seen that too.
Yeah, and I've seen trans.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
that
not
I-
transphobic. This is when I was talking about like that operation. It was more like I literally saw a YouTube video where somebody
You're
had
talking
some-
medically.
medically,
Medically.
like they were having a medical issue by taking skin right there, and they couldn't move their wrist afterwards. And I was like, damn, I wish there was a better way. It was more me wishing there was a better way to give someone a surgery that had less risk.
So they didn't have like a bad side effect.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
It was out of compassion. It was more like, oh, I wish that somebody didn't have to go through that.
Yeah, Danny, my girlfriend is never getting surgery. Well, man.
Okay,
My girlfriend is never getting surgery. Plus, they ID as ENBI. I don't know what ENBI is. I love them, and I am bi, but liking penis doesn't make someone less gay. It's just different on someone who's feminine, especially on hormones. I got to think through that. Danny, my girlfriend is never getting surgery. Plus, the ID is, I don't know what EMBI. Do you know what that term is? ENBI. I love them, and I am bi, but liking penis doesn't make someone less gay. It's just different on someone who's feminist. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't necessarily, I think it's just that each and everyone's on. It's like, I could probably, if I weren't with you and like Buck, what is that again?
Buck Angel.
Buck Angel. I mean, I don't know the details about Buck, but Buck Angel is a good-looking guy. I could kiss.
I don't know about him now, but he was good-looking years ago, at least. Yeah, taking from the thigh is the smartest thing to do. I do agree that like it's not so much the scar; it's more like putting or making a scar by the joint.
It's mobility.
It's mobility.
Losing
like function in your hand. I don't know if it would be worth like the surgery. That's just my opinion.
Because you're in the gym, and it would be an impediment
this
to you in the
particular
gym.
person that I'm talking about actually loved the gym.
That
and had some issues. And they were trying to just give like an educational video to people to show them that like, hey, I'm having some issues with it.
Yeah.
So
here's the good one. Jack Mack said, I have a friend whose partner transitioned to a woman, and he stayed with her. Their long-term relationship was more important than their gender appearance.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's the way it should be.
I think that people sometimes get divorces for all sorts of reasons. So I can imagine that a gender thing would be a reason that some people would and some people wouldn't as well.
Danny, non-binary, ENBI is non-binary.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Non-binary.
Okay.
So not male, not female. They don't declare anything
All right.
or somewhere in between.
Yeah. Momo, I have to go to work. All my love, guys. It's always a pleasure to chat with you and the rest of the world. XO Mohammed.
Thank you.
Mohammed, before you go, what country are you in?
Was she from, or they from France? I don't know.
I don't remember. I'm just wondering. It's like, where are they going to work? Are they going to work at night, or are they going to work in the morning? Thomas Colville. Also, most trans men I know did not go through bottom surgery. Most people don't think that there is a good way to make a penis yet that allows sensation and doesn't have bad risk.
I think that's all I was trying to talk about earlier, is that like they don't have a state-of-the-art perfect surgery yet for some situations.
Well, we can't create nerves.
That's the thing. You can't create nerves.
So
I mean, I'm against circumcision because you're cutting off nerves.
France,
so of
Momo.
course, this is actually a sidetrack. Do you think they have come further with making a penis into a vagina, or the other way around, making a penis? I feel like I've
my
heard
guess is
making
male
a vagina
to female would be easier
because there's more skin tissue.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of scary. I know that
because there's going to be some skin probably left over even.
I watched some videos on
size.
Trans people because I am curious. And one trans woman said that she had to like stretch her pussy.
Okay.
Or stretch her vagina. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I'm just speaking from the heart. Sorry. Stretch the vagina because it just wasn't like it wasn't very loose yet. And they were trying to like get ready for sex, so they had to start stretching it.
So it makes sense because things are healing, and when things are healing, they're trying to heal together, and you're trying to keep an opening going there. So it totally makes sense that you would have to use some tools to prevent that from happening.
Oh, there was a trans man that had the penis surgery done, and they were having trouble peeing afterwards. I'm like, like. That's like a function that you need to do to drain your bladder, and you need it to survive. Like you have to do that. It's like, is it worth it?
Okay, so we watched the movie. What was the movie? It was such a good movie.
Oh, the Danish Queen.
The Danish
girl. The Danish
You
girl.
always do that. The Danish Queen. The Danish girl. Such a good movie. He was he to she, and the second attempt or something. Anyway, it's a great movie.
You can't tell the
I can't tell the
ending.
end. I can't tell the end. Omar R. Laugh out loud. Chris is tipsy. Yeah, I said I'm a.
We're just chilling,
cheap drunk.
guys. This is no agenda. This is
Cheap
us
date.
chatting. What is this? Momo. It is easy to transform male to female because male tissue turns into vagina. More tissue needed, but make a penis needs skin, so more difficult to obtain. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I just feel like I wish there was a better way. I honestly wish they could just take someone's cells and grow the organ in a jar, essentially, or in a lab.
Yeah. Dick
And
in a
then-
jar is what we need.
Yeah.
Dick in a jar is what the world needs.
Did you see the guy that had his face transplant? You did.
Yeah.
And the arms, it's still like, did you notice? I'm so glad he got that surgery because he was a burn victim and it looked a lot worse before. But did you notice he did not have full mobility in his face?
No.
It's still better, and you got to start somewhere. I get that.
Yeah.
But he didn't have full
Is
mobility
it like
in his
the
face.
first or second successful face transplant? I mean,
I don't think it's the first, but it is up there.
but
it's
the
not
face
done a lot.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, hello, if you don't have any skin on your face that's been burned off, and they can do that. The difficult part that I see is like the constant drugs to keep your body from rejecting, which then keeps your immune system down.
Oh,
So
for like
it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but maybe one day they'll get there. Thomas Colville, there's these things called Packers for female to male men. They are fake penises and are very realistic. They wear them in their under, I guess.
like a packer.
Some can even be used to pee standing up.
Oh, so
Okay,
wait,
yeah.
is this?
Packers.
Oh yeah. I feel like a packer is probably at this point, from what I've seen online, is probably the safer option.
Until we can grow dick in a jar,
Like this
that's
person,
probably the safest way to go.
Actually, the penis is a muscle. It's hard to create it from zero. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like
it's tissues that fill up with blood and extend. So, yeah, it's hard to create those kind of tissues.
I guess that's why I really am for somebody making these choices at 18, because right now there's a risk with some of these surgeries. They're not perfect yet, and literally you could potentially have complications, and that's like, oh, that's kind of scary to do to someone that's not at least 18. And then maybe have extensive like education to maybe share the risk with them. But if they continue to want to go on with the surgery, go ahead and let somebody do what they want with their body.
Back up.
Well, okay, what's that?
Baba Taru, can one of you guys play the guitar behind you? That ain't me. That's his guitar. I have a
Maybe-
guitar downstairs that I haven't touched other than dusting in 3 years at least.
One stream, I'll do it sometime. Happy birthday, Peter Hansen. Happy birthday to Peter Hansen. That was
Yes.
Bradley Wood helped remind us.
Okay. Peter Hansen, happy birthday. Ties Sinai, happy. Yeah, again. Okay. Writing Q. You are more not sexual to die. Cry me, hate no rings. Understand life. I didn't follow that. Sorry.
Wait, would you guys?
Relive your relationship if you had the chance.
No, I just want to move forward and continue to be in a happy relationship.
Yeah. Omar R. Some trans men use pumps to create the illusion of an erect penis. It's a very interesting topic, but I'm afraid to ask because it's extremely personal at times. Yeah, that's kind of like it gets tricky there because you don't like meet a trans person and ask what they're packing below. How far are they along? Are they going to transition? It's not appropriate. I guess they tell you if they want to tell you.
This is another question. When should a trans person tell someone they are trans? Like if they're about to go on a date? The first date? Because at the same time, you got a lot of people say, hey, don't walk up to me and just announce you're gay.
Right.
You don't have to flaunt it. But it's like, but at the same time, it's like when...
Are you supposed to flaunt that you're trans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get that it would be tough. It's like a double standard. But eventually you would have to tell somebody. You wouldn't have to, but it would be way respectful to tell somebody.
Yeah, and it's just like...
But you don't want to flaunt it at the same time. And you're just trying to be an individual and a person.
Is there a good answer that's always correct for that?
I don't have the answer.
Probably not.
What do you all think of that?
Little Edward of the Love Kiss from Portugal, guys. Okay, Baba Taru. Connor, if love isn't about gender, then why isn't everyone bisexual? Why am I straight? Why are the guys streaming gay? If it's all about the soul, then there would be no straight or gay people, right?
There's a lot of truth to that. I believe that.
Yeah.
I think some people would be willing to stay with a lover if they transitioned, but I think some people would not. I think the reality is some people are straight and they want a certain gender and that's what they're attracted to, and that's probably going to be the way it is, and it is what it is.
So,
Like, you're not
okay.
going to change them.
So I think here's the thing.
I don't think they're mean for that either. I don't think they're necessarily mean for that. Like if they start treating the person that transitioned meanly or like badly, that's effed up, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing. We have sexual attraction, and visual is like the first thing for those that have vision,
Especially men.
I mean, yeah, men. They say men are more visual than women. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never been a woman, so I have no idea. I know I've with a friend that was a woman. We were both watching the same guy's ass, so I don't know. And so I don't know about that, but I think, with sexual attraction, more common than not, the visual cues are the first things you go for because they're in your face. Let's face it, they're in your face. I think there can also be pheromones that play in a big way.
Pheromones are huge, more than we know.
They're huge and more than we know. But visual, I mean, if you're across the street or you're just like looking at a screen, it's a visual thing that you're getting. So I think it's one of the stronger parts of sexual attraction, and that's what you go for first, and that's what you've got to go for first. But if you've been able to be around a person and being in a relationship and get to know them on multiple levels, then that's no longer only visual stimuli that's coming in to make that sexual attraction.
And we know that there are straight up gay guys. I've heard so many stories of gay guys being pressured to be with women when they're growing up, and they just can't perform sexually.
Yeah. They have
even
to
if
think
they
about
meet somebody,
guys
they try really hard to make a relationship
with
work.
their wife.
Or even with their wife, and they can't do it. So let's be real. There is something to being gay or being straight. And it's okay. I feel like you should have the right to be sexually attracted to whoever you want.
You're going to be.
As long as they're over 18.
And if you're bi and you're just legitimately attracted to either sex, I mean, it's not where I've been. I'm getting thirsty. Here's water.
Shout out from Detroit.
Hello,
I've never
you
been
in
to Detroit.
Brandon DeWitt.
Mike Posner's from Detroit, right? He's awesome. He's like one of my favorite artists.
Jack Mack, to some degree, it's about physical attraction, chemistry, and what equipment you're packing. It's individual as to what's important to you personally. I agree.
What is this? As a gay man, what do you think about women exactly? I have no problems with women. Or are you talking like sexually? I'm bi, so if you're talking that kind of answers that. But women, they're awesome.
Yeah. And as far as I know, I'm gay, very gay, 100% gay. I went through a time where I was trying to make myself not be gay because I didn't think people were supposed to be gay.
And you were trying to be with women. And it didn't work. So let's be real.
I was
He's
like
gay.
I was trying to come on to women, and later I was like, well, I didn't feel any electricity there. I didn't feel any energy there. Even though I was thinking there might be some energy there because I was trying so hard to make some energy.
So if I had a vagina, would you be able to be with me? You couldn't be with the girls in high school, but you weren't in love with them. But you tried, and there were some nice ones.
So we know? But
And
I
one
could
of
still
them-
kiss you.
Yeah, but what if I didn't have any facial hair and I had long hair and I had some feminine surgery done in my face?
I don't know.
You tried to be with a girl that you thought was really cool, and you're like, I could almost be in a relationship with her, but it didn't work. The chemistry wasn't there. There's more to it, like literally, especially the hormones.
There's things that we don't understand that
pheromones
are
and
there.
stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm just asking.
Oh, I don't know the answer. Baba Teru again. Oh,
It's
I didn't
okay.
know you were bi. Sorry, I said you were gay earlier. He's not going to kick your ass.
I say gay, bi, but I am bi, but
I didn't
sometimes I
know.
use gay.
I didn't know it was bi when I started seeing
I
him.
wasn't quite sure. And then I started watching different kinds of porn. It is what it is. So if you were a girl, huh?
Mhm.
Is that what we were just talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Hen Pin, sexual attraction is firstly a physical thing for me,
I
but
agree.
sometimes personally can make that person far more or far less attractive. Mm.
I agree. And then there's something to like a personality. I am based or sexually attracted to personalities too. I can see somebody that's attractive and then you get to know them a little bit. And if they're nice, they can go like way up in points. I'm like, oh, they are really, really just sexy and like their whole personality and physically and they're everything. And then somebody can be really sexy and you find out they're like an asshole and they just drop points. NBA player, new gay. I better. Huh, what does that say?
I think that probably didn't get finished before.
I'm dyslexic, so I
Yeah.
understand.
No,
I do
no,
stuff like that all the
yeah.
time.
Peter Henson, MMF porn, laugh out loud.
Male to female porn. I've watched that. I've watched a lot of kinds of porn.
Okay. Jason Camper says, "Is Chris your first guy? In which way?"
First relationship, yes, but I did experiment before that.
Jack Mack, I thought I was strictly gay, but am attracted to trans men with vaginas as long
like
as
that.
they're more muscular, manly.
I talked to a buddy who told me he likes that a lot.
So I can get that.
I wish I could name drop, but I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
I can get that. Totally, I can
I
get
wish
that.
I was bi too. Yeah, bi is kind of cool. I mean, when you start like getting like the repeat porns, you could just like change the category and you get a whole new porn list. It's kind of nice.
Well, I always thought if you're single, it like doubles your chances of a date on Friday night.
Some people are always worried about that. They're like, "Oh, but he's bi. Aren't you worried?" It's like, worried about what?
Paul
Wandering
Sheedy,
eye, that can
sex is
happen no
sex.
matter
we
what.
have religion to thank for the way people react to straight, gay, or whatever. I think Paul Sheedy is probably right with that. Thomas Colville, I found out my 14-year-old nephew has been viewing porn. I don't know how to feel about this. He is like my husband's son in a way. I'm afraid this is bad for him.
Yeah, I got caught looking at porn when I was younger, and it was actually lesbian porn.
Oh, Brian Lennon, Chris, how did you punish Dylan for exposing one of your kinks on your last stream?
You're only allowed to answer that question if you tell him what your kink was. What is his kink? Let's keep the concurrent viewers. We'll tell it what your kink is a little later.
No, we're not going to further expose
I'm going
that.
to tell your kink. It might not be that kinky compared to some things out there.
It's not, but it's my kink.
It's not that. Who cares? Everybody has
Connor
a kink.
3, gender is...
Oops. Sorry.
Gender is more a biological concept and less a philosophical concept. If the idea of gender did not exist really, we would look at other varying aspects. I think that is why trans and non-binary community are combating that construction. Makes sense. So, okay.
I agree with that, and I disagree. It's weird. I'm both. If I understood the question correctly, because obviously there is a biological point of view to all of it because you have to reproduce.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to look into, and I haven't taken time to, but years and years ago, I went to a Pride event in Helena, our capital here in Montana, and I happened to go into a session on Two-Spirit, and the fellow that was, well, there were several giving the presentations, and some were gay, some were trans, some were bi, I don't know, but Native Americans, Two-Spirit, and they were...
Two-Spirit.
One of them was telling the story that early on in the really settling or taking over of the Native American culture, somewhere in like eastern Montana or one of the Dakotas, there was a big powwow, and they had all the nations there, and the priest basically, so it was Catholic based at that point, wanted them to bring all the Two-Spirit children in to this area, and they found out, the native peoples found out the intention was to kill them because they were considering that they were demon possessed, they were evil, and what have you. And when the native elders found out that's what was going to be happening to these Two-Spirit kids, they ended up getting them together and taking them out and preventing them from being slaughtered. So, I mean, if any of you have ever heard this story or know, because it's like that really made a big impression on me on this like whole Two-Spirit thing. And they were saying that now the native peoples are welcoming the Two-Spirits back into their communities and letting them know that, we're glad you're back, because Two-Spirits were leaders in a lot of Native American cultures. And it turns out that down through history, people that are gay or transgendered, what have you, ended up being the shamans in a lot of cultures, or the spiritual leaders. But in Christianity, that was kind of like done away with. And yeah.
I mean, you got to admit, like growing up trans, can you imagine how difficult that'd be?
I think it would be difficult.
I would love to like have somebody that was trans on this channel, somebody that was really cool, just a nice person.
Veritas transmit. I'm strongly anti-demon.
What is anti-demon? Oh, somebody was asking. A lot of people were asking. We want to know Chris's kink. For that matter, what is Russ's kink? What is your kink? And somebody said, "Don't embarrass Chris." Are you really embarrassed of it, or is it a joke? I can't tell if you're joking.
I don't know. It's just.
I'm trying to read it.
It's just personal.
Okay, we've been personal before. Just curious. It's not the most personal thing. What is my kink? I don't. Oh, dude. Oh, hold on. I have to do this one first. Maybe we'll talk about the kinks. You should say it in a little while. I think people would be interested. I think it breaks down barriers.
Okay, Igor Nerves, are you guys keeping up the Marilyn Manson exposed? What is that?
Yeah, and it.
What are you talking? What is?
I mean, who knows? Allegedly, and maybe there's more to it now, but people have been coming forward saying that Marilyn Manson was grooming him, and one of the girls from Westworld, one of the robot chicks, like the main girl.
Oh, the blonde robot girl.
I think it was her. I think she came forward and said that he was grooming her.
Oh.
And abusive, and I don't know the details.
Sexually exploiting her.
But a lot of other women have come forward, and I don't know if it's true, but it's sad.
Yeah,
it's sad for the women.
That one little bit that you just said, I haven't followed up on.
And if it's not true, then it would be sad for Marilyn Manson. I don't know. I don't know the details. Is it coming out like with proof? I don't know.
Oh, and I think I went the wrong direction with my I'm drinking cheap date with the genders and native peoples. I've heard that a lot of native tribes earlier on identified 7 different genders. They didn't have just male and female. And I know that they had Birdash, which I think was either men that dressed as women or women that dressed as men and took on those roles in society. And native men would possibly accept as one of his wives a Birdash woman, which is
kind of different,
biologically male, but dressed as a woman. Yeah.
Sorry,
so
keep the
I
mics
mean,
down.
maybe at least some of the Native American cultures had a lot better way of viewing sexuality than we do today.
What is your kink, Chris? I could tell you mine. One of them. This is no secret. I like whitey tighties and underwear on guys, like men underwear, especially fit guys, and you see the bulge. I've always liked that. But this is a more serious, and this is one that I actually want to get to.
What's that?
More of a discussion, like a serious one right here. And we'll tell you Chris's kink later. I hope he'll tell you.
Pin.
I'm not going to say he'll have to.
3, gender is quite obviously a biological characteristic, but the fact that many people from all walks of life around the world do genuinely feel that they are a different gender.
Yeah, there's something to that. And I heard this, I heard someone say an expression or an analogy. It was saying of course, sometimes the software does not match the hardware. It's like, that makes sense. There's so many variations out there. Of course there's going to be a variation where the software doesn't meet the hardware. Of course.
Yeah. Biology, nature just throws us a curve in every way a curve can be thrown.
Sometimes they're good curves and sometimes they're negative, and it's just a mix. So I mean, sometimes
there's always a spectrum. No
it's
matter
a spectrum.
what you're talking about, there's always a spectrum.
And there's another one.
Henpin suggests there's another aspect that comes into play, likely psychological, which is completely natural and okay, not so much a new and emerging concept that is trying to combat how it was. Jason Camper, have you watched the documentary Disclosure? It is on Netflix and up for an Oscar. It's amazing.
What is it?
We haven't even heard of Disclosure, so
we finished Scientology, the documentary. That was interesting. So is Disclosure, is it something to do with sexual assault?
Let's go watch. We'll look it up.
No, not Marilyn Manson. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? What were you saying, Chris?
He's already canceled now. Igor Neves.
Is he canceled with facts? I'm just curious. I guess I want everybody's side to come forward. And is there proof? I mean, if multiple women came forward, it looks pretty sketchy, right? But I still want facts. Marilyn Manson's label even dropped him. Oh, crap.
That's
so maybe it is more serious.
Weidinger that said that. Thomas Coville said, I feel like I've aged early. I'm 19, but I served in the military, emancipated at 16, and I'm already married. I feel like my childhood was stolen because I wasn't accepted as myself. And do you know how Thomas Coville identifies? Was he one that's married? I can't remember. I'm terrible, Thomas. I'm sorry.
It's relatable. It's relatable. I don't know if you're trans or if you're gay or bi like me.
Thomas, tell us.
I feel like so much of my childhood, I was trying to get out of my hometown and be independent, go to the oil rigs. I feel like when I was real young, I was able to maintain good friendships, but there was like, besides the exception of my friend Blake, which I was always able to keep, there was a lot of people that I feel like I started pushing away in high school because I just
You were hiding.
I was hiding, and I think I came off as like cheery and happy and everything, but inside I wasn't.
Yeah.
I had depression, but not just depression. It was more like just hiding, and I was never the expression "let your hair down" or something like that. I just never was really comfortable in my own skin, not really, because of everything, and because of that, I do kind of feel like I maybe lost a little bit of like the high school experience. Like if I would have just been completely comfortable with being myself, maybe I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah. Well, I was totally thought I was hiding. It'd be interesting to know
How much time did you spend trying to hide it rather than just living, though?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's the way I think the way I do, because I'm always trying to project several steps ahead, because I was always thinking about what I was saying or doing as to how people would see that as what I was doing. Would it give me away? So whether I was hidden or not, I was always trying to hide.
You had the things you loved, but there was times where you probably weren't concentrating enough on them because you were concentrating on people not knowing you were gay. I mean, that was part of it, right?
Yeah, it's just I wasn't comfortable in my own skin.
I couldn't even take when someone called me pretty. You have pretty eyes.
Oh, that was me.
I was
too.
like, don't say that because
Back then I did have like long eyelashes, and my eyes were pretty. Now they're like, you get old and your eyelashes get short. I wish someone would say I had pretty eyes.
I was literally wanting to take testosterone and steroids at like a young age because people were saying I was pretty, and I was like, I want to like take more.
Yeah,
hormones.
I found it scary when people said that.
hated
It's
that.
like, what are they seeing? What
Maybe
are
they
seeing?
see that I'm gay because I don't want them to see I'm gay.
Yeah, that was me.
Because I'm a guy. I'm a guy.
Yep.
Are we in an attic? Kind of.
Or is it the roof? It's a 2.5 story building, and we're on the half story on the top.
it's cool up here, though.
Which means the roof slopes down. You don't have the full 8-foot ceilings at the edge of the room, which he hits his head all the time. It's not the best. Omar R., it's so interesting how we form opinions about things, but a lot of this has been studied. It was crazy when I took my first psychology class to know that a lot of how we think has been studied. Yeah. Paul Sheedy, I'm with you, Russ. I was trying to hide during high school.
It's kind of a bummer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just could have maybe focused on things that I loved and, I don't know, maybe made more better. I don't know. Some friends. I don't know. I feel like at least some people I pushed away, just not being open. Except for one friend. I have one friend that I didn't really push away. I pushed a lot of friends away, just being gay and keeping secrets or just not really opening up to them.
Igor Neves says, is homophobia common in the U.S.? Here in Brazil, it is standard, sadly. The bigotries here make our life hell.
Probably depends on where you live. I mean, the U.S. it's so different in San Francisco compared to Montana or Wyoming, or New York is different, or Fort Lauderdale and Florida is different. I feel like there's definitely cities that are more open-minded and then cities that are less open-minded, even politically.
Yeah, it's without question getting better here in the U.S.
As a whole?
As a whole,
We got gay
especially
marriage.
since we have full gay marriage, and, it's most people now potentially certainly know a gay couple, if not a gay married couple. I think it's just so much more of like people now that gay marriage is allowed, they are seeing that the sky has not fallen. Society has not crumbled around everyone's feet. I always thought it was crazy when gay marriage was not legal and you gay relationships weren't recognized, that people would say, the gays just like, they can't like have a relationship, they're just whores, they're all out playing around, they're just all out for sex, it's like they can't have a real relationship, when on the other hand they were being prevented from having a committed relationships. The only relationship they could have was in the alley or behind closed doors, and they couldn't let anyone know that they had feelings for someone of the same sex. So it was such a crazy situation. So it's better here in the U.S.
You both have pretty eyes, by the way.
Thank you.
Meant in a nice way. Thank you. I embrace it
I think
now.
I kind of begged for that.
I do like that now, though. I mean, I embrace it now. I think it's like, okay, it's one of my attributes. I don't have attributes in every category, so it's like.
But we're not trying to hide now. It's not like a trigger for you or for me.
And I learned that boys can have pretty eyes too and still be guys.
Yeah.
It's just I was younger and I didn't understand that a boy could have pretty eyes and still identify as a guy. I was thinking, if they're saying I have pretty eyes, they think I'm a girl. And it's probably like somebody who's trans being called a gender they don't like. That's the closest I can feel to like relating.
Well, you knew you were not a girl.
I know.
Emotionally, you were not a girl.
I associated pretty with girl, and I was like, they're calling me a girl.
Yeah.
And they either know I'm gay or they think I'm a girl or something. I was like, I'm not a girl. I'm a guy.
Yeah. Let's see. Paul Sheedy. I've made up for it when I left school, did whatever I wanted. That's good.
Same here, man. Do you play guitar and sing to Chris? Yeah, we used to sing together before you had the meetings. We should do that.
Yeah.
That was like a nice romantic thing. It was.
Yeah. Che, for context, I'm a gay man. When I was a child, I had bright red lips, fair skin, and long dark eyelashes. I got bullied by it because everyone thought I had makeup on, even some of my teachers. It was hard.
I got asked that all the time. Are you wearing eyeliner? All that kind of stuff. Are you wearing mascara? Are you wearing eyeliner? I still get confused between the two.
I got the same question, and I had one teacher that made fun of me. She would say that, and then another thing that she said that was very hurtful is she says, wow, you look like a clown. You've got the white hair and white eyebrows and these long black eyelashes. Yeah, it was like destroyed me.
What is this male plus gay or woman plus combat? Does that mean everybody should go to combat? I feel like if you can be deployed, you should be able to go to combat. That means if you're trans and you're able to be in combat, you should be able to. If you're gay, it's just if you're on medication, they don't let you.
Okay, I can identify with the statement by Donald Ward.
Okay.
It says, I always had females as friends.
Sorry. I will. Okay, right there.
I always had females as friends. Straight males always intimidated me. Men seem to be more homophobic than women, in my opinion. At least that's how I feel. And I kind of agree with you with that. I had a hard time making male friends because I wasn't a rough and tumble kind of guy.
I was the opposite.
Yeah.
Me and my friends played Smear the Q. And that's like where you chase a football, and whoever has the football, you basically tackle them. And I hung out with mainly guys. I had a few girls that were my friends, but mainly guys. And I think it made it even tougher because then they would be talking about different things, and I was just questioning a lot of things. So I kept my mouth shut. And I feel like, especially as we were getting a little older, that's when I started like closing myself off. It's a bummer because some of these people I was so close with, like we would do everything together. We would sometimes fish. We would go hiking. We would go out in the woods. We would skateboard. We would get into trouble. We would do a bunch of stuff. But dude, this is me and my friends.
Don't tell on your friends.
Well, me and my friends, we did something almost like circle jerks. But we didn't do it to each other. But it was kind of weird. I remember thinking,
you never told me this.
This is kind of gay. But we were like watching porn.
You never told me this.
But we all had blankets and we were covering up, and we did not help each other. But it was like it reminded me of what people say of like circle jerks. I was like, this is kind of gay.
It's too funny.
But they weren't gay. It's just there wasn't a lot of porn access.
Everyone had to watch the screen at once. That's all
somebody
you had.
was saying that their 14-year-old stepson or a nephew is looking at porn, and that's controversial. But like at 14,
your hormones have kicked in.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I was watching a lot of porn. And that's why me and my friends were watching it on one screen because only one of us had access to porn, and it was like right before the internet. So it was like more like it was DVDs or even tapes then.
Okay.
I'm feeling
his
old.
eyes are getting big. Let's see. Baba Taru says, I'm straight guy and I like it when someone says I have pretty eyes. Cool. Rich
Handsome
Garcia,
eyes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Paul Sheedy. I've just read Mama's Boy by Dustin Lance Black. He was part of the push for gay marriage in America, an absolute brilliant read. Okay, can you
I'm gonna
screenshot that?
screenshot that.
Igor Neves says gay
Oh.
marriage is also legal in Brazil too, but the prejudice hasn't gone down due to it though.
There's always
That's
going
a
to be
bummer.
haters, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we still have like some religious people who are very against gay marriage. My parents, they're pretty cool, but they basically had to leave their church situation because that church currently does not like gay people.
Omar R. at Chase said, I had long lashes too. I love them now. People think I wear mascara. Enjoy your long eyelashes while you have them, because I guess it's when the testosterone starts going down or the telomeres start breaking off of our chromosomes or whatever. Eyelashes start getting shorter. It's like, I hardly have eyelashes anymore. How could I possibly have had such long ass eyelashes that curled around and people commented about, to the point now that I have no eyelashes hardly? What's
you still
with
have
that?
pretty eyes though. What is this?
It sucks.
Che and trying to hide being gay. It was terrifying, and doesn't help that my name rhymes. Che gay.
Oh,
Okay.
I bet
You said it.
you got totally
I'm
slaughtered with that one.
Yeah, that's tough.
Gay Che. That, you know, they got slaughtered with that one.
Writing Q is either extremely high or a bot. Maybe. That's fun.
Che with gay. Okay, Shannon Weidinger, my brother-in-law is homophobic and we don't get along at all, but his favorite artist is Elton John.
Huh.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That's crazy. I kind of wonder, like, why would you at this point care?
Yeah. Okay, so I had a friend in college that knew I was gay. On trips when we would go bird watching and camping and stuff, slept in the same bed with me. You know, he had no problem with it because he knew he wasn't going to be playing with my dick. You know, it's like he knew he was straight. He had no fear at all whatsoever about his sexuality. And I think he knew if I'd tried anything, he would have just like knocked my tooth out or something. I don't know what he thought, but he loved me as a person. You know, it's like, that's it. He knew he was straight. He wasn't scared of himself. He wasn't scared in his own skin. He actually just like lamented that I didn't know what it was like to eat vagina. I'll put it that way, because he enjoyed it so much.
It's not called that. He was not calling it
He was
vagina.
not calling it vagina. No. He said fun. He had been out one night with a girl, and he came in, and he was all crusty on his face.
Like Red Wings crusty or
Just crusty.
Okay.
And his mom had to get up and leave, and then his dad had to explain to him what his problem was.
That is weird that he likes Elton John. I guess that's good that he likes somebody that's gay. Hopefully he's not like in the closet. Some people are like homophobic and they're really just gay and they have like internalized homophobia. It does happen. Probably not everybody. Army, I high combat and I fight. 5 members only hit you sad blood. Am I reading that messed up?
No.
Or is that like the?
I'm having difficulty too.
Maybe there's just like a language barrier. Or,
I think there's just a little bit of language barrier
Sorry.
there. Maybe
or
one day
a
we'll
bot.
get it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Baba Taru, what do you think of straight guys acting gay with their straight friends as a joke?
I don't get offended at all. My friends did it all the time, and it's weird. This is messed up, but it did happen many times. Even my football coach used to slap our butts. I think that's kind of common for football coaches, even though now maybe not.
Maybe
but
not
back
now.
in the day, like not even that long ago, and I don't know if there's more to it or not, but I mean it was common. But like my friends would always play around being gay and stuff too. I don't, and they were not gay. I don't know if they would. I guess if they were homophobic after they played around being gay, that'd be messed up. But I don't really.
I don't know.
I'm not offended that easy, guys. I don't believe in canceling someone unless they do something really messed up.
Yeah, I guess the maybe the line would be is if that person really hated gays or had a problem with gays and treated gay people poorly in general, but if they like every once in a while, like, you know, gayed out a little bit just for fun, maybe they're just having fun.
Guys bond differently, unlike football teams and stuff. They have like this bro mentality where they do kind of joke around to each other and pretend to be gay.
Mel Superman says, sadly, there's still a lot of bigotry here in Buffalo. I still remember there were these Bible thumpers at Pride a few years ago harassing some of the guys going into the bars. Well, I'm surprised about that in New York. I mean, I
Well,
just think about New York.
Westboro Baptist Church goes everywhere. They came here.
Yeah,
There's always haters, man. Elton John movie was fantastic. Or the Elton John movie. It was a good movie. I did like the Queen movie a little bit better. That's just my preference, but I got that question a lot between the two of them. That's why I even brought it up.
Romel Batislaung says, hi, Chris. Hi back, Romel. Wayne M., we didn't slap each other's asses, but we would punch each other in the nuts.
Nut tap. I remember nut tap.
I hate nut tapping,
Dude.
man. It's like that hurts. That's something that's like,
You want to know something that's crazy?
that hurts.
Do you remember? Oh, you grew up in the South. You don't know what I'm talking about. In football, when it's cold, because you play when it's cold, and it gets too cold, you know where they tell you to put your hands?
In your
They tell you to grab your nuts. So everyone's
standing with their hands
in
warming
their
their hands
pants.
with their nuts.
And then you're touching each other afterwards. It's kind of crazy, right? You're tackling each other. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird, but that did happen multiple times. We didn't slap each other's asses. We saw that one, right?
Thomas Coville, if you go back down, says, it is odd that my husband is a role model for me. He guides me in a lot of ways. I look up to him a lot. He's 9 years older. He sometimes reminds me of the dad I never had, but we are still equals.
I think that's cool.
That's cool. And then
It's
someone Omar R.
super good to have
responded.
a relationship where you look up to
Yeah,
somebody.
he says, I don't think that's odd. He's a prominent figure in your life, and you learn a lot from relationships you're in, the good and the bad.
Very true. My buddy, I always want to name drop, but I can't. My buddy likes this girl a lot, and it's because she inspires him. Her dreams and just her maturity level inspires him. That's why he likes her.
Yep.
It's way more complicated than that, but I won't get into that.
So, man, I'm getting tired.
We got.
How long have we been on this?
2 hours and 20 minutes. We got to end this.
Oh my
soon.
God, this is the longest one we've ever done, isn't it?
Was there anything that was confusing about this, like as far as like transgender military that we left out,
Misspoke.
or transgender transitioning before a certain age, or transgender? What was the other one? Military, transgender transitioning at a young age, or transgender in sports.
Terry and Al says, Spirit Stalking says, my sister got messed up with a family of Bible thumpers, and now we haven't spoken in 20 years. Her husband is strange and has really gotten into her head. Yeah, with different churches, that happens.
Donald Ward, you can fake name drop. Yeah, but the problem is I almost really name drop.
Yeah.
I have to remember to fake name drop.
Yeah, Terry C., I used to work with a straight guy who wouldn't have any male friends. He was afraid that something would happen if he hung around any other men.
Like what? Like he was.
Like he was scared of what he would do, give in to. Who knows?
I wonder if he was really straight. If that was the case.
Yeah. Eric Asher, if you had the choice, would you choose to be gay? Greetings from Heidelberg.
Dude,
Love
that's
you
a
guys.
good question. To be real, since I have you, I want to be with you. I choose you because love is hard to find. But in my past, if there was an easy button and I could just push it and be straight, of course I would have pushed it millions of times, especially when I was younger. Now, things are changing. You know, you got gay marriage. I have love now, so no, not now.
Yeah. So, like, when I was young, I remember praying, it's like, okay, if this is really bad, because I knew I was gay, but I couldn't believe that just because this is the way I thought, because I hadn't decided on it, I hadn't chosen, and it was just the way I was. It's like, is this wrong? If it's wrong, okay, change me, make me different, big cheese, whatever. But if it's not, give me the strength to endure it. And here I am enduring, so I guess it wasn't wrong.
I like this comment. You just got to help me with the name. I know Cortez.
Elio Cortez. I feel better about being gay after I did psychedelics, but I do live in South Dakota.
Psychedelics help me feel comfortable being gay a lot, actually. You see the connection between everything, and I guess I started feeling love and started like cutting some of these strings that I had that made me feel bad because of my history with religion growing up. I was taught that being gay was an abomination, or I should say that homosexuals never would go to heaven. What is that? Corinthians 2 or something.
I don't remember what
It's like
verse.
Corinthians 1 or 2
I've
or
tried to
something.
push those out.
But yeah, there was a lot of Bible verses, and I had a lot of trauma. And even though I tried to like say that I got over it, I didn't really emotionally get over it until I did psychedelics, and then it like helped me cut some strings of being like, you know what?
And
It's
see,
okay.
I would like to do psychedelics
In a controlled situation.
that are natural. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't want to do man-made, but I really have the feeling, even though I haven't been able to do them because it's not legal and I'm not in the right situation in most situations. In Peru, did ayahuasca, but I think there's the possibility that those things opening us up to broader ways of thinking and realizing that we are all one, that we're not as different as we're taught we are.
And helping with trauma.
I think psychedelics have the possibility of being way too healing and too unifying for those who want to control the masses. And I think that's why psychedelics as medications
We're doing a whole
spiritual
live show on
healing
psychedelics, and it's the one that I'm really
and
looking forward
mind
to.
evolving. I think there's a reason that they were demonified. Is that the word? What's the word? Made bad. I think there are value in a lot of the naturally occurring psychedelics. I think there's something medicinally and spiritually and transformative there within those plants.
Love is love. Gender does not exist. Maybe mentally. I think the only part of gender that does exist is like, obviously, Chris, me and you are never going to be able to have children organically without adopting. Organically, or should I say biologically.
Yeah, or mix them together and doing the turkey
So,
baster with a surrogate. Or
Yeah,
something.
it ain't going to work.
It ain't gonna work.
Either way.
No.
So, I mean, there is a biological standpoint to gender, but of course you can identify differently, and sometimes your software is not going to match your hardware. And then, of course, there's intersex people, and that's complicated altogether. The people who are always like, oh, there's male and female, get it right. It's like, yeah, but there's also something called intersex, and that's an example of how confusing it all is.
Well, there's that, if we're going to do Bible verses thrown in, so, there's male and female. God made male and female. Well, there are actually species that are not male and female.
That's true.
There are species that are only female, and they reproduce parthenogenically. There is no sex involved, and the offspring are identically to the parent, the one parent. And then there's also like species like fish and frogs that will be male one point in their life, and then different genes get cut off and other genes cut on, and they transition into the opposite sex. So they get to be both sex at different points in their lives, and that's just the way it works. So there's not always just male, just female. In fact, there's always a range.
Well, I mean, isn't there a situation where you can have XXY chromosome?
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally intersex people, so obviously in that situation, there's not just male or female.
Baba Taru said, like mushrooms and acid.
I've done acid and I've done mushrooms a lot more. I prefer natural. Dude, I have so many stories about mushrooms.
And I haven't done either, but mushrooms are what I would like to have the opportunity to do because they are natural. Acid, because it's made in a lab, and I trust nature more than I trust men. So,
Peter Hansen, It's a Sin doesn't come out here until the 18th of February on HBO Max. Huh.
Yes, screenshot that because we don't know about
I know.
that one.
I've heard of Peter Hansen.
Well, Peter Hansen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but It's a Sin is a movie apparently.
There are non-binary people too. Yes, there are. Of course, there's people who whatever the software is up here. Non-binary is essentially like where you don't identify as a gender. Or you can't pick a gender, right? As far as I know, right?
I think.
We've looked it up, but I'm not the best representation of knowing that, I guess. So
Baba Taru, I feel like physically there's only two genders, but mentally there's more.
I feel like that's a good assumption, but
there's
also,
in between.
But
I
think even physically, look up intersex, and I guess the question that I would ask is, where would you label that? When you look up intersex and there's literally a person that has a vagina and a penis or somewhere in between, what category do you put them in? I guess you could say, oh, but their chromosomes say they're this. But there's situations where somebody has a different amount of chromosomes, even 3, like XXY, I think it is. Where would you put them? That's not a typical male or female.
I don't know. I'm getting tired. I'm sorry.
We got to go soon.
Um,
I want to try mushrooms with my heart. Oh, I don't dare to try mushrooms with my heart.
and that's
Arrhythmia. That is so true.
Wayne
You got to
M.
be
That's
careful.
kind of my issue here,
And I'm not recommending you do mushrooms because honestly, if you have like a psychological issue or like a heart issue or something, there is a risk.
Jason Camper says, "Don't forget disclosure," and that's really Wayne M. That's my concern with ever trying to do ayahuasca again, even though I'd want to, because there's a purge associated with that and loss of potassium, which is very important for the heart. So I don't know if I can realistically do it, but I would like to.
Are you guys religious? There's some deep questions that would take a whole.
Oh yeah, we're
I'm
spiritual.
spiritual. I do not subscribe to one particular religion, but I do like aspects of a lot of religions.
Thomas Scoville says, "I'm terrified of hell, and I do not know what to think. Am I going to hell for being gay?"
I was raised saying that you would go to hell for being gay. That if you were homosexual, you would never go to heaven. But I don't know all the answers. I really have to tell myself, or I ask myself, do I know the answers? And I don't.
Okay, so
Bottom
Thomas
line.
Coville, one of the discussions we want to get into and do a whole live stream about, or even have someone join us that has gone through the experience of a near-death experience. And I don't mean just like they came close to dying, like they had a bad accident, but people that have gone to the other side and come back. I think watching a bunch of those stories would be interesting to you. I had a fear of going to hell as a young. I mean, I could go into stories that was a terror, night terrors for me, of going to hell. In fact, I may have been there, but I don't think we're all going to end up there. So, but that's a whole nother video. So watch for it.
And we're getting too tired. We're gonna end this in 3 minutes.
But we will
3 more minutes.
Just do a big talk on that, because we both grew up in religious families, but we're both spiritual rather than religious. Donald Ward, I used to say that God made me gay to help control the human population. Laugh out loud. I also still consider myself Christian, but I don't believe in the Bible because it says I will go to hell. Yeah, we could, Donald, we could have a long conversation on that. Pretty much right there with you. Chelsea Cat at Mel, yeah, the word doesn't seem to bother most people, but I prefer a blanket term, even though I'm not non-binary. Brian Lennon, have you thought doing reaction reviews videos to short films? Consider watch Cream. It's starting to jump.
Oh, Chris's kink. Oh, yeah. We have to. Chris, you should say it. I don't want to say it, but I said mine. They saw it in the other one. Please. You don't have to, but it's. Oh, somebody.
Where is it?
Gay sports. Oh, never mind. I thought it. Cut or uncut. Cock size, please. Oh, buddy. I love you.
Cute dog. Thank you, Igor Neves. He is a cute doggy.
So Chris is.
He's a sweetie.
I want to say it, but can I? Are you that embarrassed?
I don't know. I'm
that
just being
embarrassed?
hesitant. I'm just being hesitant.
We are cut, unfortunately, and we're both well hung.
Timothy Wong,
fortunate.
please, Chris, we support your kink, whatever it is.
Well, it's legal. It's not like a whatever it is, weird stuff.
It's totally
Some people are
legal.
weird. Oh, is golden showers your kink? LOL.
Laugh out loud.
Yes, that's it. Actually,
I don't. Not all showers have to be perfectly clear.
that is his kink.
All right, we've done it.
Chris's kink. Look above.
So I'm red now.
Someone
Even
got
redder.
it.
Someone got it. That's at least one of my kinks. We won't judge. Thank you, Thomas
raining
Coville.
or is it just? Oh, I don't mind it.
Is it raining or is it just Chris's kink?
I don't mind it either. We won't judge.
Golden showers flow from rainbows.
The Bible says, "Man shall not lie with a man as he would lie with a woman."
Pretty black and white. Problem is, the Bible was written by straight white men in the middle of the desert.
And true, and it was written by a lot of different people, And it also was written after Jesus was dead. There was like councils, what was the council of, this one, Nicaea,
The Council of Nicaea.
and they manipulated the Bible.
And then there's I have to look all this up. There was one monk or priest that there were like 20 something versions of Matthew, I believe it was, and there were inconsistencies with them, and so he burned all of them, but the one that he thought was the best one, so that was the one that went forward. So, play the game telephone. And transfer information just around a circle of people and see what you get when you get back. Handing things down is not perfect, and that's basically what all the books are, because none of them were written no Bible book was written that was written by someone at the time of Christ. Just
When are we gonna stream again? We're actually thinking about having somebody on the stream with us. One of my friends is a YouTuber.
yeah, we don't know this. We didn't know that this was going to happen tonight, and that's kind of been the way it's been for the 3 streams that we've done.
And honestly, this particular stream, I feel like we did pretty well, but we're still learning this. This is actually kind of new for us, to be honest.
Writing cue, baby family. Oh my God. What does that mean, baby family? Oh my God.
I don't know.
Maybe with the baby
Oh,
puppy?
okay, the puppy.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, he's a cutie. Do you ever think about being with a woman?
That's Pamela Holloway.
Yeah,
Is it?
sometimes.
And I don't really know. Jack Mack, love you guys. Have a great week.
My
You
kink is
too.
more embarrassing than that. Yeah, some people have some embarrassing ones. But, dude, as long as you're not hurting
Not
anybody
hurting anyone.
and
yeah.
someone's over 18, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. It's just
I mean, I imagine there's some kink out there
it's
that I
hard to
probably would
discuss.
not understand and would think it would be messed up. If it was causing someone permanent damage, I'd be like, please don't do that.
Chelsea
Right.
Cat, thank you guys for being such a breath of fresh air on this platform.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you for sticking around. This means a lot.
Donald Ward says, yeah, please stream more often. I'm turning the bell on. You guys are just cool as hell to hang out with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
it was
man.
fun hanging out with all of you. I honestly have got to get some shut-eye.
What was Chris's kink? It was water sports. Water sports. Hold on.
Hello, everybody.
Golden showers bring May
Hey,
flowers.
This is a voice changer. Is it working? I just wanted to test it out before we went. Do I sound a lot more high pitch?
Writing cue, game I play sports. Cool.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Bedtime in Ohio. Good night. All right, Wayne M. We're going to bed too. LW, what time is it over there where I am? It's 9 a.m. Oh, where are you, LW? It is, what time is it? It's 12:07 a.m. here in Montana Mountain Time.
And it's cold. It is so cold right now, guys. It's in the negatives.
Oh, where's my phone?
It's probably -6, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think
Fahrenheit.
It was supposed to go down to -4, -6 Fahrenheit tonight, and later this week it's going down to -18 at night, and the highs are in the low single digits, if not the low negative single digits.
What are some topics that you guys want us to talk about in the future? I like these kind of topics. I like topics that are kind of like discussions.
David Hunter, New York City. The Torah was written before the Gospels. Only the New Testament was written starting 90 A.D. Then there was the Gospel according to Mary Magdalene, and other Gospels not included in the official canon.
Like the book of Judas.
Yeah, we've read
Was it Judah or Judas? I'm sorry.
Judas Iscariot.
Not included. It's kind of crazy how many scriptures probably were not included.
How old are you? ¿Cuántos años tienen? Tengo. It's been so long since I studied.
What is 30s? Is that Trenta? I'm 31.
Okay.
Here in Kentucky. What part of Kentucky? Kentucky is beautiful. We drove through
58 from me.
Lexington, Kentucky, but we weren't there for long. But I just got to see the landscape, and it was very beautiful.
Pamela Holloway.
I'm in Kauai.
Kauai. We love
I do love Kauai, though.
We were like looking at Kauai today.
Dude,
we would
like,
love
the
to
thing
live
is,
in Kauai.
we were looking
we
at
have a friend
moving.
in Kauai.
I know
so
we're
we have
supposed to be
two
going
friends in
soon.
Kauai.
Are you guys Jewish? My genetic test said that I might share some genetics with Jewish groups, so I could be.
And I've not had my genetic test done, so
but I'm a mix.
to my knowledge, no.
But yeah, we might. We're thinking about like moving to even like these are all like maybes, but Florida and Hawaii.
Pamela Holloway says, "Come see me." Okay, if we come see Joe, we'll come see you, Pamela. Joe used to live in what was it? Analoa? Is that what was it called?
Do we know Portuguese? Sorry, what's that? Anahola.
Anahola.
We stayed in Anahola.
For 5 weeks.
Kapa'a, we were in there a lot. Kapa'a is pretty cool. Princeville is pretty cool.
We looked at a condo in Princeville. Like when this place sells, there was like a condo in Princeville that like it would be cool to live in Princeville.
A lot of rain, but that's okay.
I could deal.
The Nepali coast hikes
Kauai
are so
is
amazing.
So gorgeous. Kauai. I love Kauai.
An armpit fetish. I like armpits too, actually.
Yeah, you got me there too.
I like that actually.
Love it.
We got like a little second wind going. Should we keep it going or should we just not?
No.
Oh, I'm kind of having fun though.
I know, because someone mentioned armpits.
That's exactly what it is. Well, that and we're in West Virginia. West Virginia looks amazing too. I have never been there.
Yeah, I have
Illinois.
driven through West Virginia. It was beautiful.
Illinois.
Windy little road.
We did go through Chicago. I hear Chicago's awesome, but I will tell you, driving through it is very stressful, at least for us. But we're from Montana, and I'm from Wyoming, so the traffic here is so much different, and it's the toll roads. What part of Illinois? Summer here is OZ 32. Here tomorrow, down to the beach. Wow. Do you guys know any Portuguese? No, but Portuguese is a beautiful language. It's actually one of my favorite languages. Do you guys have hidden talents?
He plays guitar and songwriter.
But I also am like really good at gym stuff, like acrobatic. Like you can't tell until I take my clothes off. You're like, oh, he's actually pretty ripped. But I'm kind of like the skinnier ripped kind of guy.
He's not the bodybuilder type.
Nah.
He's just got good muscles.
I don't take testosterone or any hormones.
Thomas Coville says, please talk about religion and being gay. I'm Christian but scared of my sexuality and hell.
That would be a fun live stream with the main focus being something along that line.
Yeah. And we could totally tie that into my experience with like near-death experiences and all of that. We can do that. Meg Martin, I'm from Peoria, Illinois.
Where is it? Like I'll snapshot that and I'll have to look that up. And then someone said, I'm from Georgia. What part of Georgia? Because we went through North Georgia and we went through Dahlonega.
I love Dahlonega. Dahlonega was the closest place to Bozeman that we met on a big road trip of over 6,000 miles. Jack Mack says, Chicago, Illinois is fun to visit, but travel times are horrendous. We have friends in Chicago that he's never gotten to visit. I've gotten to visit. And they've got the waterfront in Chicago. It looks like it'd be really, really cool.
You guys should come to to Georgia. What part of Georgia? Have you guys been to Savannah, Georgia? Anybody? That place looks pretty cool too. I'm from Israel.
That's LW.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Is it Jerusalem?
Terry and Al, Spirit. I've died twice and been brought back twice. Okay, we should have we have to look them up because maybe we could like have Terry and Al on here with us because I'm totally into that topic. I want to hear your story. Totally want to hear your story. Do you know about IANS, International Association for Near-Death Studies? I got to join that.
What's your hidden talent? He's good at bird watching. That's kind of a talent. You know, you can identify a lot of different birds.
I can identify birds and
That's
plants.
kind of a talent. And dude.
I don't know if it's a talent, though.
Well, but your memory, it is a talent because what he can remember, he can walk on a hike with you. And I walk and I can go fast. And I know some flowers, but he can tell you all the flowers and all the plants.
David Hunter in New York City says, 2 incredible books to read. Snapshot this are by Elaine Pagels. The Origin of Satan and the Gnostic Gospels. Yeah, I've heard of the Gnostic Gospels. I don't think I have a copy of the Gnostic Gospels over here. I don't think I've read them. I've only heard them.
I live in the capital of Israel, Jerusalem. I would love to go there.
Yep, I would too.
Are you Jewish or Palestinian or?
I'm assuming that I think he said he's Jewish, right? He lives in Israel.
Are you Ashkenazi Jew or Sephardic Jew or what are the other options? I don't know.
You know more about that than I do. You started going into your genetics. Thomas Colville, I'm from around Albany, Georgia, in the southwest corner between Alabama and Florida.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Definitely visit Asheville. We went to Asheville. Shout out to Nick. It was awesome. Beautiful mountains and craft beer capital of the states. If you're into that, well, yeah, we do like beer. We actually were drinking some beer earlier. Chris had a buzz. I have been to Savannah, Georgia. How was that? It looks like a pretty city. Even like the city itself, it just looks cool. It looks just like a vibrant city.
Elio Cortez says, when are you thinking of doing the psychedelics live? Probably not. I don't think you could do that, but
What?
do psychedelics live.
Oh, like doing the but we talked about doing a psychedelics we could do a live talk.
A talk.
I
yeah.
would like to try psychedelics
Yeah.
live, but you would need somebody with you.
Jack Mack, you two should go to bed and stare into each other's eyes. I'll be the fly on the wall. Too funny.
Come to Minnesota. It's boring
Don't
here.
come to
Oh,
Minnesota. It's boring here.
Well,
I have a friend in Minnesota, though.
What about like
Minneapolis.
near the lake? It looks kind of cool.
Frankie Pants, good morning from Liverpool, UK. 7 a.m. here. Nice to catch you this
Shout
morning.
out.
Frankie,
Oh wait.
that would be... the UK is cool. We'd love to come back to
Meg
the UK.
Martin's Savannah, Georgia is beautiful. If you go there, go to
Tybee
Island.
Island. I'd love to
Oh,
go to
alright.
Tybee Island.
That sounds cool.
Hello from Crossville, Tennessee. Hello, Kelly Crawford.
Tennessee is also beautiful. Hello from Indonesia. That would be a cool place to go. The birds there are incredible.
Yeah. Donald Ward says, are you guys still running the B&B? Yes. I pretty much do with my business partner who has moved back here as of a year and a half ago. We do have it on the market.
Is Phuket?
And so there may be some
Is that
changes
Thailand?
coming up soon.
Is
Dice
Phuket
and
Thailand, right?
Phuket, Thailand. Yeah, that
Okay,
is
okay.
where the tsunami was.
Oh.
Yeah. Ever heard of Albany, Georgia? Yes. I think I actually had relatives that lived in Albany for a while. Jack Max says, Baba Taru, Minneapolis, Minnesota is a very nice city. I enjoyed Minneapolis when I was there, although I was... Kelly Putney, hello from Vancouver. We made it safely from Wyoming, the southern route. Cool. So you guys are back in Vancouver, Kelly. So you and Mike, I'm glad you had hopefully you had a good trip down.
We'll have to have a beer next time we get together, and we got to buy this time because you bought us last
Sue
time. Thank you.
Ellie says, Chris, can you describe your experience with ayahuasca and what you gained from it? Did you think it was worth it or any negative consequences?
That's a whole nother chat because we're getting close to ending this. It's been 2 hours and 46 minutes.
Yes, Sue
kind of a while.
Ellie. So watch for another live stream, and we will go into that. Thomas Coville, if you guys want to vacation in Florida, my aunt owns a company on St. George Island, Collins Vacation Rentals. I can get you a discount. Screenshot that puppy.
That sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, because we're looking that when the place sells here, maybe Florida is one of the spots.
And Hawaii.
We could end up.
We've also
Wherever we can
considered-
find a place that we can afford. That's
well,
it.
Florida has very affordable housing, but you have to be very specific with where you live in Florida. Like even for safety issues.
That's true of everywhere, though, right?
Not so much Montana and Wyoming. I'm not used to that.
Yeah. Red Estevez, I love you guys. You are adorable and cute. Thank you, Red. Jack Mack, I'm selling my house, possessions in a year, and traveling around the country in a camper van.
That sounds
we
awesome.
have talked about doing the exact same thing.
That would be an awesome thing for us to do. Buy a house in Florida and then have a Sprinter van. What kind of van do you have?
LW is Ashkenazi Jew.
Ashkenazi Jew. So
Yeah, thanks for
Ashkenazi Jew.
answering.
When I got my genetic test done, I think it said that I had potentially Ashkenazi Jew. Sephardic Jew is like Southern European, and then Ashkenazi Jew is like Russian, Poland area, Northern Europe.
You remember that better than I do.
I think if I'm right, I'm not sure.
West Virginia is very cheap to live in, is what Terry and Al says.
If you guys want to vacation to Florida, my aunt owns a. Okay, sorry, we read that.
Chelsea a cat at Mel. It was,
That was nice of you. Thank
amazing.
you.
The mountains are monstrous compared to what North Carolina has to offer. Thomas Coville, if you guys want to okay, that's the same one that we read.
Oh, what did you say about transgender people in sports? My best friend is transsexual and a brilliant pool player. I feel like pool.
The Women's Professional Billiards Association has excluded her.
I feel like in that case, there's. I don't really. I think anybody could play pool. Where I would have an issue is like if a man would transition to be a female late in life and fight women in the UFC. I feel like that might be kind of dangerous for women. But pool, I don't get it. But we had a long, detailed discussion about it, and it's hard for me to just like throw a quick answer out there.
Yeah, because
We started the conversation hours ago.
Yeah, so sorry you missed out on that, and I might feel different about pool.
Yeah, pool.
Also,
I feel like pool is pretty even, but there's a reason they have separated men and women in sports in general.
Contact sports.
But it's more contact sports. That's not pool's not necessarily a contact sport. So I don't even know.
Yeah,
I almost feel like I wouldn't have an issue. Like, and especially in that case, if a woman was beating the men, I would totally let her.
yeah, because I don't know that there's that much of an advantage that is imparted with testosterone for pool.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't think so, but
There
I could be
is
wrong.
when it comes to like martial arts.
Yeah. Jack Mack, no vignette, going to buy a gas Ford Transit. We have no clue what we're going to get, but
We'll probably go for like a good value, to be honest.
Paul Sheedy, when you get your
Oh, sorry. Paul Shady, right there. Shady.
when you get to Oz, guys, you've got to come to the Western District in Victoria. Google the Great Ocean Road, Torquay to Warrnambool. I don't know how to say that word. Warrnambool. I would love to come to Australia.
Warrnambool. Yeah, I would love to go there too. Love you, Daddy. Food's cute too.
Jack Mack says Mercedes diesels
That's-
are too expensive to maintain. We have heard that, so that would probably knock that out for us too.
Is this a trolling person or is this a language barrier?
I don't know. Love Daddy. Food's
I can never make-
cute too. I don't know.
It could be just is writing cute.
And it
Is
would
it
be
just?
like
Are you
English
from
is
another country?
English is a second language.
Yeah. Which, if
Because-
it is, I mad respect to you because I only know one language and I am poor at that.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that, like, okay, English is not even your first language.
Have
don't
you
have
guys
a language.
been to South Dakota? Dude, South Dakota's bomb. I'm from Wyoming, so I went to the Black Hills quite a few times as a kid.
And we
and-
came through there on the last big trip we did.
I don't know eastern South Dakota as much, but I imagine there's like potholes and there's probably good fishing. But western North Dakota is beautiful. It's my favorite.
St. George, Florida is a good island, very family-oriented, though. Only downside is the nearest Walmart is 2 hours away, and that's Thomas Colville.
Where is that, St. George?
St. George. So we'd have to look that one up, too.
What's like a house cost there, though?
Yeah, well, that would look Walmart being 2 hours away. That's not necessarily a downside for
As long
for
as
us,
there's some
as long
sort of
as there's
store.
some sort of stores. We like supporting the mom and pops if we can.
But, I mean,
they're
we do
available.
occasionally go to Walmart. It's
Yeah.
just not our favorite store. But
No.
we do occasionally go. Have you guys been to South Dakota? We read that one.
Okay. Meg Martin, the only way pool would be a contact sport is if you start throwing the pool balls at the other person. Yeah. My personal opinion is that when it comes to pool, anyone could be able to handle the balls and sticks equally.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's not that much danger
No
of like
pun
getting
intended.
hurt. I almost had a drug story. I have so many drug stories that I've held back over the years. Just playing pool, I did a bunch of cocaine with my friends. This is when I was in high school. I was
Okay.
in a bad. I would never like. That was many, many, many years ago. But I did a bunch of cocaine with my friends, and I played pool, and I was actually good at pool.
This is hilarious, Nancy Pelosi. Have y'all been to California? Yeah, Nancy, I've been to California.
I've been to Mount Rushmore and Devil's Tower of South Dakota. Devil's Tower is bomb. I've never actually been to Mount Rushmore, but I've driven right by. And I mean the Black Hills and that part of Wyoming, northeast Wyoming, it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. We've looked at properties there. Oh wow, Russ, I know. This was when I was in high school. I'm 31 now, so I was like around 18 when this happened. I'm not proud of it, but that's the reality. I tried
And making
coke.
poor decisions.
I made a lot of poor decisions.
His prefrontal cortex was not developed at 18.
And I had hit my head really hard at 16 in a skateboard accident that I have never talked about. But I lost my memory for a day, and then it seemed like after that, my impulse control was pretty weak for a little while.
Igor Neves, relations all the time. Laugh out loud. Okay. Thomas Colville, there's a dollar store and a grocery store. I recommend getting groceries and supplies before you go to St. George, Florida. Scott Ridgway says, next time you come back through Missouri, stop in Sedalia and say hi. Love you guys. We'd have to look up Sedalia in Missouri. Don't. If we drove through that, I don't remember.
Snapshot it right there. Also, greetings from the capital of the USA.
Yeah, Nancy.
Okay. Oh, Nancy.
Jaden Marak, are you guys going to be reacting to Cardi B's new single, Up? She embraces her bi pride very much in that music video. Haven't even heard of it.
I do
Didn't
like
know it exists.
Cardi B. I do like her.
So we should
I will
watch.
tell you, when we do music video reactions, sometimes we get blocked. And the last time we did a music video reaction, we got blocked. That's where the record label decided not to let us do our video. And it just was discouraging. Like, honestly. I was
He
like,
put so much time into editing videos, and then to have it taken down and to have wasted all that time, it's really discouraging.
Russ, did you go to the hospital after your head concussion? I am from Wyoming, where it has a little bit more of a rougher attitude toward that kind of thing. I come from a motocross family and cops and kind of a rougher family. And when I hit my head, even though I lost my memory, my parents just they were just watching it. And then when I was going to sleep, they just kind of woke me up every hour to make sure I didn't go into a coma. And then I got my memory back. So I probably should have gone to the hospital clearly, but I was 16 and there was a money factor. I was not the wealthiest. So yeah, there could have been some consequences. I don't blame my parents. It's done with, but it did seem like I made a shift after that where I started smoking weed and trying a bunch of drugs, and I don't know how much of that correlates to the actual head trauma or just being gay and questioning my sexuality and being depressed. And it was just kind of a messy high school year for me, or a couple years for me.
Becky CP, hello from the UK. Have you ever visited England? If not, would you like to? We would love to visit. We have visited. We went through England on the way to and back from the Gambia.
Gambia, Africa.
So
and
we
England
stayed
was cool.
in Gatwick.
We stayed in like a little bed and breakfast type setup. It was really cool.
Yeah. We actually flew into Heathrow.
We got lost.
And we thought our hotel was there in London, only to get to the hotel and realize that wasn't the hotel we were supposed to be at. We had to take a bus to Gatwick and then go to the correct hotel. Scott Ridgway says, please, please, please do more live chats. We will, because this is fun for us. Nancy Pelosi, oh, it's actually me, just got back from the stage because of the impeachment trials from Trump. I love it.
She's probably eating ice cream watching those.
Chocolate ice cream, Nancy, we know you love that chocolate ice cream. Thomas Cobio, for the St. George Island, Florida, prices may vary per house. It might range from a few $100 to $1,000 a week. Elio Cortez, come to the east side of South Dakota. Sioux Falls is a beautiful city. We drove through there. We like, and Kelly Putney says, so many places, so little time. Yes, Kelly, you're right. But Kelly, we're still planning on hitting Boise with you guys this spring.
I love mint chocolate ice cream. I know you do, Nancy. We all know.
Mel Superman, at Nancy, where's my stimulus? Nancy, I want my stimulus check too, and I don't want just the measly $1,400. I want the whole $2,000.
Dude,
that's what I was promised, and that's what I want.
Dude, this is a good question. You have to answer.
Where?
Who do you guys want to sleep with, Trump or Biden?
Neither. I'm into younger men.
If you had to pick your ages.
Neither.
You discriminate based off age.
I'd go with the Rosie Palm sisters.
If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, the Rosie Palm sisters.
What if
I
you
know
got
those gals.
What if you got $1 million?
What?
I'd sell out for $1 million.
I'm not even going to go there.
Dude, I would sell out for $1 million. Would you let me sell out for $1 million? You would. You would. You
Just
would.
do it. Don't tell me.
Ask.
I don't want to think about it when I'm down there.
Okay. Boise. Oh, yeah, Boise. Kelly.
All right. We've got to go.
We got to go. It's honestly, you guys, we've been on here for
12:29.
Almost 3 hours.
So
we're tired.
We're going to, at 12:30, we're going to click the button no matter what.
Alrighty. Love you all. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll do this again next time. Some possible ideas are near-death experiences. We're going to talk about psychedelics someday, and then what it's like to be religious and gay, and then some of the issues we've had, and just talk about that in general. Ooh, yuck. I'm with Chris. Neither. I'm talking $1 million, guys. Hey, I didn't pick one.
Maybe $1 billion. $1 billion.
Dude, I would do it for $1 million. Are you kidding? $1 million. Oh, so
I'll
Nancy.
give you a $20 stimulation bill. Nancy, you just
She's
too
a
funny.
bitch, if that's the case.
Donald Ward, Money Talks, laugh my ass off. Quinessa and Gaming Vlogs. Okay, it's 12:30. We're going to cut it off, folks.
Love you all.
Thanks
Bye,
for
guys.
joining us. We'll see ya next time.